everybody. Welcome to the Thursday Night Forum. This is Arsenal Fan Circle. Pull up a chair. You're all welcome. Bring your beers, bring your drinks, bring your Dr. Peppers, whatever you have, right?
Tony has all the above, plus coffee.
Right.
Irish mocha, McDonald's.
I don't know if this is. I think this is our water, right? But we'll see. We'll see. Depends on if I start slurring my words or not, right? Later. Tony, how you been?
Been so. Trying to get some house stuff done before I have my surgery on my shoulder Monday.
Get the spring cleaning in.
And paint going in the bathroom and
get your group of French maids to come and do some dusting.
I want to have a French maid. The the nurse today when I got my spinal injections, she's all I would need.
Alonso, how you been?
Yeah, it's been good. I've been on a Thursday night in quite some time. So good to see you, Ray and Tony the Tiger. Hope that you all are well. Good to see BX and Steven in the house. Joining us in the chat. So good to see you guys.
Yes, indeed. Alonso, since you were last on this podcast, a couple of things have happened. Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, fly Eagles fly, right?
Fly Eagles fly. Travis Kelce reconsidering his future moves.
Yeah, because we beat their ass.
Anyway, there you go. We're going to get into it. There's things going on with Arsenal. And Tony, will the real Arsenal please stand up? What are we getting with Arsenal these days? Inconsistencies?
Yep. Probably a draw or loss this weekend to make it.
Yeah, just to round it out, right? So, since the injury to Kai Havertz, go ahead.
We have some interested parties, Ray. Was the 6 goals for the Premier League, or was it in total in all the games? I thought it was Premier League.
Yeah, we saved them all up for this Champions League.
No, I'm asking for our predictions. I think we cut that off at Premier League, not every competition.
Oh yeah.
The 6 goals or less.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. It's been a long old season. At the start of the season, we asked ourselves in the Premier League. Probably the Premier League. We were talking, Tony. What would be the most amount of goals that Arsenal could score? Well,
because everything else is Premier League, so in the prediction. So
yeah,
I'd assume the goals would. Just making sure so I can retain for the 4th time.
4 times.
Fuck no.
A 4-peat. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I took a year off. Remember?
Oh, you're just like Manchester City then, Alonso, isn't he?
No, you
took a year off, let Liverpool win one, and then they continued again.
You're the one that approved it, right? I asked to thank you. Skip a year since I won 3 in a row.
You're incorrigible, Quint. You're incorrigible. Alonso, what's going on? What did you think about that game there? Champions League, PSV, 7-1.
It's like, going to PSV, beating them as their place that Arsenal did was quite an accomplishment. Given the fact that it is Champions League and you're now in knockout stages. People were saying when we lost to we're against Nottingham Forest and we lost now West Ham, people were saying, well, PSV are gonna, basically beat us bad because we're so disorganized in midfield and basically have no strike force, or at least our forwards are not scoring goals like we think they can be. So, with all that considered, as a fan, you gotta be optimistic. because for some reason Arsenal have been playing their most consistent and their most best at Champions League football. And it seems like the way they could play, they could be one of the favorites. Now, I know that's a stretch, but
Mhm.
there's no belief that why they can't go farther than we all think they can in the Champions League. With that said, they got to get their act together in the Premier League to even have a chance to at least make the top four. And I know that's being kind of pessimistic, but it's kind of optimistic because the way they've been playing so poorly these past two games in the Premier League. But it's frustrating because if they could put 7 goals against PSV away, then why can't they do this against Nottingham Forest and West Ham?
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's quite. It's like almost like they're playing with more aggression in the Champions League than they are in the Premier League, which is to me a problem.
Yeah. And the other thing
Because
as well, Alonso, we've just not been consistent all season. We haven't really hit the heights, and we haven't won more than 3 games in the Premier League itself. You know.
yeah, and I want to hope that Odegaard getting a brace will help his confidence as well because he's a player that's more than capable of going on a goal streak, and we've been lacking that from him this year.
Yeah.
As far as demanding the ball more and putting his shots on target. So it's good to see him get his shooting boots back on, and like I said, the talent is there. Just not only score and assist, but just be a playmaker. And I hope that Arteta's not holding him back, or maybe he's just a little bit nervous because he did come off a very, very lengthy injury
Last year.
to the ankle. So it's about time he has some kind of confidence.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get into more about Odegaard. Let's get into who's here tonight with us. BX Gunner. So greetings everyone. Shout out for your Welch. Welch's grape soda. Tony, is that you, Tony? Grape soda, or just a shout out for grape soda? Hey all,
I had a red stripe, so it definitely was not
not grape.
Welch's grape.
Yeah, gotta love me some of that grape soda. Misfits in the house. Thanks for being here, Stephen. Fruitopia, Alonso said. What are we expecting? Tony, what are we expecting this weekend against United?
Oh, you don't get to ask me about my Champions League game?
No, we're gonna jump around, but we're gonna answer this
Okay.
question and then we'll move on. We'll get back to the Champions League. Yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering why you skipped me, but now I know.
No, we'll get back to it. Listen. I'll answer the question. I expect Arsenal. We're the better team. Manchester United are struggling terribly, even at home and away. They're losing games left, right, and center. We've just scored 7 goals against PSV, and we'll talk about the strength of that performance and what that means in Europe. But we should rock up to Old Trafford and be able to come away with a win, just like we did in the run-in last season where we won 1-0 on Easter Sunday. Tony?
To me, this is going to be probably a draw, or to be a very, very narrow one would go lead win for us. It's going to be close. It's all you can always throw out the form table. You can throw out the whole table. You can throw out the baby with a bathwater. It doesn't matter. These two teams are going to play hard against each other, and it's usually going to be a close game, and they're always surprise wins and losses in here too.
Yeah, I love the way he's like many pundits say, the form table goes out the window in these
Ah,
games. You know what I mean?
I thought you were going to say pundit because like my puns I rolled on with. I put 3 puns in there, right? Come on.
You put 3 puns in there.
I
Yeah.
missed it.
Over my head as well. we're not that intelligent of an audience for you to find all of those puns in a couple of sentences. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you said pundit, and I felt like a pundit because I put puns in there, and I had 2 puns, so that made 3 puns when I did the pundit pun.
He's playing 3D chess, Alonso. You know, what do you expecting at Manchester United on Sunday, Alonso?
Well, since we're a better team on paper, I expected to dominate that game. And Manchester United are just in shambles right now. And if I'm on TikTok, I'm just telling the guys that perform like you're supposed to be performing against the team that's weaker than you are. And it seems like they don't have Rashford anymore, so he's not going to be a threat moving forward. You got these youngsters, half of them are probably ex-Arsenal players, right, at this point. So, it just, I don't know. Ray and Tony, I think we're going to dominate them. I think a game like that on Tuesday, whenever Udegaard scored up 2 goals, and I think what Rice, getting assists, and I think the whole team is playing not bad. And I think people forget how good out in the first are. So I'm not surprised that that game ended in a draw. You can make an excuse for West Ham game because they just were off it that day. I want to think so. I think they'll be up for it. I think it's a rivalry game. Manchester United, as you know, is our biggest rival still. And I want to hope that the guys will be ready for the game.
Yeah. Listen, I'll tell you what I expect, and welcome, Gary, by the way. What I expect is for the remainder of the season, and you referenced Alonso, I think we were in a funk coming out of that win against Leicester City with Mourinho playing well. West Ham played 3 at the back, and a low block. We couldn't overcome the low block, and we were in a really bad funk. Nottingham Forest, we still had some of that, and I think we needed this game to shake all of that off in the new competition. But I expect us to finish the season strong. I don't want to relinquish the title. Not that we're going to win a title, but I don't want to give up on the league. Let's start looking upwards rather than over our shoulders, and Nottingham Forest and Manchester City, who are probably going to surge. So I expect us to go to Manchester United, dominate them, and win the game. Play at home to Chelsea in the next game. Run all the way through to Liverpool. Even when we go to Anfield, I don't want to go there and get beaten by them. You know what I mean? So there's lots to play for this season, and there's a question mark of. We don't have to answer this right now, but should Saka come back for when he gets fit in April or whatever it's going to be? Gary, you've been listening for.
It's supposed to be this month, right?
Yeah. Well, you don't want to rush him back either. You know what I mean? I think what probably Saka should target now is we know we're going to go through in this tie. We have a dead rubber game against PSV. Coming up next week or whenever it is, and so there's going to be a Real Madrid or an Atletico Madrid glamour tie, and like it or not, Bukayo Saka will be motivated to get back and be ready for that game. Gary, what say you? You've been listening for a few minutes. Welcome. What do you
Hello
think?
there, Wayne. Hello, Ray. Oh my gosh.
Wayne. Hi,
I
Wayne.
got Wayne. Hello, Ray.
I've been called a lot of things, Gary.
Okay. I swear I saw Wayne next to your name, so maybe I have that wrong. All right, so maybe I've seen things. Sorry.
No problem. Hey,
Hello,
you're an
Tony.
Arsenal fan right now, Gary. You're
Yeah.
seeing lots of things, and it's not a lot of them are good. You know what I mean? Right
Yes.
now,
Yes.
especially when the club is not seen fit to back our ambitions for the remainder of this season in January. That's my feelings anyway.
Yeah. No, I think they let down not only the fan. I mean, they let down their team. They let down their players. They let them down in the summer. They let them down in January.
Yep.
Um, and teams don't quit. I mean, they pretty much. I mean, as if Arteta wasn't already known for getting us out of the cup tournaments, because of the way that he managed the team.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's known for getting us out of those tournaments.
The team said, "Hold my beer, let me show you how to do it," and they basically went out there.
I'll show you how to exit a
"Hold
cup
me ready
tournament.
for it," and it might help you in the cup, but you know what? It won't matter because we won't do anything to the end. But I think they let down. If they let down Arteta, if Arteta was saying he wanted someone and they didn't bring anybody in, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's a big sign. It's a poor sign. Especially if they want to keep their manager. I mean, bigger managers would have problems with that, right?
Yeah.
That was Wenger, and Wenger said he wanted someone, and they said no.
Is that, now you said that, Gary, is that like a transition in the way the club is approaching Arteta and the team?
I can't believe they want to give up on the season. Nothing was lost at that point.
No.
We still had a lot of, yes, we were going to have to work hard for it, but nothing was lost at that point. I mean, somebody just gave up.
Yeah. Does it end?
No, for 15 mil? I don't think you gave up for 15 mil.
No. Gary, I'll ask you first. Does this answer the question I asked? Because I asked if Arsenal were spending the money to get into the Champions League, or were they spending the money because they supported and believed in Arteta? I've asked that for the last 3 years. Now we might have an answer.
Yeah, and that's what Wenger went through too, right? He was saving the company money, and then when he looked like he wasn't going to get Champions League, right, consistently, then he was out. I don't like that business model. I think if you're not trying to get the trophy, then you're not. It's gonna come back to haunt you. I always say the phrase, "Shooting for the stars, hit the moon." If we're not shooting for the stars anymore, and we're just shooting for the moon, guess what? Once in a while, you won't make it there. If you're shooting for top 4, guess what? You're not always going to hit top 4. But if you're shooting for a trophy at the top of the table, you might fail, but you'll still finish in the top 4. So I kind of feel like that should be at least the mantra, is trying to win a trophy. But who am I? I'm just a fan like you.
I think we're shooting for one of Elon Musk low orbit satellites. Not even the moon.
Yeah, well, that's what. But sometimes when you crash before you get out of the atmosphere, right, and that's problems.
So Ray, I have a question.
Yep.
We just beat PSV. Would they be a League One team, League Two team, or an MLS compatible?
Well,
if you put them across there,
it's listen. We can get Gary and Alonso involved in this as well, but this is a team that beat Juventus in the last round, knocked Juventus out of the competition. It's a team that had been going well.
They beat Liverpool, right? They beat
Liverpool earlier in the season. Yeah.
I think Liverpool had given up at that point. They already had won the top spot in the Champions League. I don't think that was. I mean, I think they didn't have all their starters in. I don't think they cared. And they still competed, but I don't think they cared if they won or lost that game.
Yeah. I think what we're trying to do is get a sense of where PSV are in the European arena right now, so we could get a sense of this result, this performance for Arsenal away from home in Holland. I still think that they have some pedigree. PSV are a decent team. Listen, we know what's going to happen this season. We have to play Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid. If we beat them, we play probably Liverpool or Aston Villa. And we beat them, we go to play maybe a Barcelona, a Bayern Munich, or an Inter. So there's nothing going to be easy about this competition now. But we wanted to get into Europe. We wanted to be in the Champions League. We wanted to get away from the Europa League dross, which is where we are right now. And we're going to have at Lambertai against one of the Madrid teams coming up next. We all know we've probably gone through in this tie right now. The next game around, we have an opportunity to maybe take a look at some players. Not that Arteta wanted to do that at the end of this game either, Alonso,
Yeah.
So, with that being said, Alonso, do you put some, we put some gloss on the fact that we beat PSV here. This was a good performance, I believe.
Yeah, it was a good team effort. Especially with how defensively sound we were. It seems like this whole Marino thing up front is going to give or take, right? It's like a risk versus reward kind of thing where he scored a couple goals against Leicester. He didn't score against West Ham nor Nottingham Forest, but then he scored against PSG. So it's a process, right? And wherever it works or not, or wherever it gets us to second place or not, wherever the case might be, it's looked like a great idea. And to have that, Odegaard scoring twice, like I mentioned, and having
Yeah.
our defenders scoring, it reminds me of last year when we had all our balance scoring, and you had Ben White scoring 4 goals, you had Megalesh and Saliba scoring, and so all those things matter to me at least. And Tony also scored the last game of the season is Everton. So that being said, at this point, I don't care who gets the goals as long as we win. It doesn't have to be pretty, as long as we get the win. And I think that's important, and that's an important outlook to have because right now we don't have a striker. Saka's still hurt or out, getting better. So, all things considered, this is where Arsenal should be playing game in, game out because the talent is there. And it was a great win yesterday. Hopefully they could build on that against United and moving forward.
Yeah. Look, all great points, Alonso. But Tony, it's hard to disagree with what you said, Tony. Is the club servicing the team just enough to make top four, to make that Champions League money, and not go the level beyond, as Gary said. Aim for the stars and hit the moon, something like that. Right?
And again, that brings in why did it do to us?
What?
Why did I do to Arsenal?
He's in the pun.
That's my fourth pun.
His wheelchair is set in pun mode right now, Gary. So it's stuck. The knob is stuck on pun. So we're gonna see this throughout the night. Gary, you said when we play Real, it's best attack versus best defense. So Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, we know our defense is a little leaky, so I think that will be it's almost like a wash to me, almost because if we, what we did against PSV, we probably won't do against Real Madrid. I mean, we were pretty. We took risks on the attacking side. I mean, as many times. I mean, if you heard it on the call, but basically every time we were in the box attacking, we had 5 to 7 players in the box. We don't do that. We don't do that. And if we do that against Real Madrid and they get the ball out, we could be in trouble, right? Because so I don't know. That game was an anomaly for me. That was like a strange game for me. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that that first half of the first half basically looked a little strange. Didn't look like until we got that first goal. It looked a little off to me. And even we probably could have been up 5-0 in that game the way we were when we finally did decide to open up. All right, we had a couple. We had a 1 goal call back. We had a couple of opportunities where we didn't attack the ball and left some opportunities open in the first half. But yeah, no, I don't. Real Madrid, yeah, Real Madrid or Atletico, they both pose different problems for us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably easier for us to play Atletico.
I'll take Atlanta
because they're not gonna punish us as much on the attacking side. All right, defensively.
Yeah, but they're not gonna let us score though.
Well, it's both ways, both sides, right? So, The game could get out of hand. We play Real Madrid, right? Could go 3-0 the wrong way.
Yeah, very
That
quickly.
once that first goal goes in, and we are. I mean, we saw it in the PSV game, right? If PSV is as poor as we think they are, they had a chance to. I don't know if there's to take. I think it was to take the lead, right?
Yeah,
They could have.
Gabriel Magalhaes.
Yeah. No. Before
great.
that. Oh wait, was that? Yeah. That was the one. Yeah. So I mean, they had a chance to go into halftime, really. 2-3. If the. But I thought they had another chance as well, maybe to go in 3-3. But
I had her close to the halftime.
yeah, so I think they had opportunities there, and if that's a team that isn't known for their attacking prowess, right? But Real Madrid is. So like I said, our defense it's good, but they are a little leaky, right? So I think that's the thing that concerns me. I mean, we saw it against West Ham, right? We just got opened up pretty quickly there.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest, we played a much better game, but it didn't account to anything because they're a lot more sound, and I think they were a lot more. They didn't wait for the opening. I don't think as much as West Ham did because of style of play. So, I think Real Madrid will wait and will punish us for it. We've seen it against when they've been on their run to the Champions League, right? They've let a lot of English teams basically get their way until it was time for them to turn it on, right? They play Liverpool and City in back-to-back games going for a trophy, and if you looked at it, both teams dominated, but the scoreline said something else.
Alonso, do you think which team do you think we're better suited to, Atletico Madrid or Real? It's going to be whoever it's going to be, right? But who would we match up best against, given what Gary just said?
Well, one of them plays super defensive. The other one plays more attacking-minded football kind of players they have.
Yeah.
However, Real Madrid, I don't think any of us like them. So that being said, I think that we're better suited to play Real Madrid. I think that granted we have our defensive issues like Gary mentioned, but on our best day, Timber and Miles Lewis-Kelly can do a good job for us for playing defense. Now, one thing I do have a concern about is will Miles Lewis-Kelly lose his cool against Vinicius Jr. or the other wing they have, Mbappe, or whoever it may be. That's what makes me nervous. The good thing about us playing, if we play them, is Real Madrid because we have Partey, and Partey has some experience playing Real Madrid. I don't know if the same players are still there from when he was at Atletico, but I just hope that whoever we play is a good game, not a blowout. If we make mistakes, I want to hope that we could give our best against either one of those teams, but I think we're best suited against Real Madrid.
Yeah, Tony, duke it out. Go head to head with Real Madrid, Tony.
Real Madrid, if they're duking it out, then it's going to be an open football game that either team can win. But either team, if we play the left back the way Arteta wants the left back to play, we'll get punished by either team. And that's really what it's boiled down to is Arteta to play a disciplined defender, or is he to be pushing Skelly or whoever plays
all right
up
you're,
the pitch?
You're Mikel Arteta. Who are you playing left back?
I would play Tierney, to be truthful.
Okay. At least I just wanted an answer from you. That's all. You give me an answer. I'm happy. He usually plays a little bit shy in those situations, Gary, but he's shown his cards. He played Tierney.
No, I mean, I think Ben White and Timber should be our fullbacks. Skelly is still young. He's showing his immaturity. And he
Yeah.
showed it. He showed. I mean, he showed it in the was it
Quite a few
the
games.
Forest match, right? And
The
showed
West
it.
Ham.
Is it West
sending
Ham?
off.
He showed it in West Ham, and he showed it in the
Wolves.
PSV game, right? So I mean, when you
And
first
Wolves.
you get the first yellow, then you should be a little bit more controlled and less aggressive, and not put yourself in situations where you're going to have to make a play that could be easily called a yellow. And he didn't do that. He's a good enough player to be able to do that, right? He doesn't have to take any risks, right? I don't think he needs to take any risks. He's a strong player, but he got himself in that situation, and we got lucky that the referee realized he gave him a soft yellow, right? That's what everybody believes, right? So
Yeah.
So I think he's still learning. That's going to be a big game, Bernabeu. I think we play at the Bernabeu, right, to start that thing.
Well, I'm not sure what the
Okay.
way or home leg would be.
But
You know what I mean?
but
You
Real Madrid
made
would
it. What,
29 minutes, 30 minutes.
you made it that far, Colin. Ray.
I'm not allowed to talk about legs. In a home and away game, I can't talk about legs, Gary.
Oh, I don't think I brought that up, so I'm not in
If it
trouble.
was up to Tony, it would just be. So,
right
Tony,
after
Tony, you would like a two-legged affair or one-legged affair?
Oof.
first tie or second tie, right?
I know, Gary Alonso. That's bad. I know. He asked for it, though. He did ask for it.
At least I can't be sent off for a two-footed challenge.
So it's just your one leg is longer than the other leg now.
You just wow. Wow, you're just
Right,
trying
Tony?
to beating a man when he's down. I mean, jeez. You got
He
any
might
more?
be
You
up.
got any more?
Gary, he might be
Right.
up. We don't know if it's up or down right now, Gary.
Oh.
Ray, I've been out to you. My one leg's been shorter than the other since I've been 6 years old when I broke my femur in 4 places. So it's not new.
Wow. All right, so Timber left back. I think that's a good shout, Gary. Timber left back, White right
No,
back.
I think those are those actually are our two best fullbacks.
Yeah.
And we're gonna need
And Timber's best there, I think, on the left anyway.
we don't have to be concerned about those silly.
Tony would like to play with
think about
Timber.
it. Calafiori,
I'm
we know
surprised you
is a
didn't
lot.
pick Timber, Tony.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say Calafiori is a liability defensively. Offensively, he's fine going forward. Skelly can do both, but he's still learning. I don't know. He should have learned. He should have learned by now, and maybe that's a little bit of
Exactly.
the leadership on the pitch isn't helping him out. After that first yellow, the leadership on the pitch should have said, "Don't take any more risks. We don't need to take risks in this game. This is not a game where you need to take risks, right? If you play sound football, you're not going to get in trouble." And he didn't do that. He got himself in a bad. I think he got himself in a bad situation. In the West Ham game, I think the pass put him in a bad situation. Well, I think the West Ham it was a pass given to him, and instead of I think he just needed to make sure that ball got cleared out, either back to the goalkeeper or out of bounds. One of the two. And I think he tried to do too much and put himself in an even worse situation, and then got pushed off the ball. Like, he's really strong, right? But in that situation, he got pushed off the ball, and he paid for it. So
there's been
it's a learning experience for him.
It does continue. I mean, the learning experience is a good thing. I think Miles Lewis-Kelly will be a great player. Is a great player. Has played well for us this season, but will have learned a lot in these 3 games. Wolverhampton Wanderers, there's a way to have a professional foul without doing that, irrespective. It was not a red card. It was a yellow card all day long. Wolverhampton Wanderers. West Ham, the sending off. There is. I saw somebody saying that he could have actually went down when Kudos pushed him around around the head area. He could have actually gone down and would have gotten probably a free kick from the referee. The way referees give free kicks now for
Or
nothing.
you get the call and then he looks silly, right? So
Yeah.
it's a risk you have to take.
And then you have this situation in Champions League. You create yourself a problem with the first yellow. You should really have maybe defenders are talking to him. Maybe Gabriel Magalhaes is talking to him. Saliba's talking to him. But he still has that instinct where the brashness of youth, he thinks he's invincible and he thinks he can get the ball. And the referee and Arteta protected him from himself. We were lucky in all honesty. Tony?
You have to remember, Ray. He's used to midfield. Midfield, you scrap and you fight for the
In
ball.
midfield, you get yellow cards in midfield, Tony. Midfield's a battle as well.
Not for being the last player back like he's got.
Fair enough. I take your point, but he's got speed. He's able to recover. But the problem is he is up against wingers, which is difficult. And wingers are generally faster than midfield players. I'll take your point, Tony.
And he likes push ties, so he's not back there in a defensive position.
Yeah. But he's going to be a player for the rest of for many seasons to come. And if this season it's not going the way we wanted in the league, so this season can be used for the younger players to actually take major steps forward, and we've seen that with Miles Lewis-Skelly this season, albeit defensively. There's lapses defensively, but Ethan Nwaneri is another one who has just stepped forward this season. And with the season that we've had, Alonso, these players have come forward and actually look better than some of the professional players that you would expect to be carrying this team right now.
Yeah, it seems like Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri have both been playing like they've been on this team for a couple of years now. And, I've been reading a lot lately how, Miles Lewis-Skelly could be in consideration for the England squad for the upcoming matches. And, whether that's true or not, I'm sure the kid's got a lot of confidence going for him right now, as well as Ethan Nwaneri. And the sky's the limit for them both. I think they're very proud of what they've done so far, coming from an academy. And I think Tony should be proud because they're one of his academy kids. Both of them are.
Yeah, but we
I think
Tony's kids.
I think that for us fans, it's good that Arteta finally has faith in these youngsters to play them and let them make mistakes and not punish them by not playing them again. And I think in the past he's realized that. So it goes both ways. I think that Arteta has earned the trust of both of them, and they're gonna make mistakes. And I think Arteta realizes that. So it's a gamble on his part as well, and he should get kudos for that. Because he's finally seen, or at least Tony has finally told him to value his youngsters, so he can make Tony proud.
Yeah.
But all that considered, good for him for finally taking a risk on both Miles Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri. And we'll see what happens from moving on out, from here on out. But yeah.
What was he? I mean, Alonso, was he kind of forced into bringing Miles Lewis-Skelly forward?
And you can say that, but I think he sees that. Well, I got this young kid playing really well. I rather pay him than Zinchenko, or I rather pay him than Tierney. I rather pay Miles Lewis-Skelly than I would pay, Kieran Tierney.
Yeah,
because I believe that they're both moving on this summer. At least Kieran Tierney is. So the future's now for, I think, also Skelly. Namari, I think when Saka comes back, or at least Saka can trust someone playing as a backup to Ethan. So, I think Gary always mentions Saka's backup while he's on him. Why is he your head, Gary? You know, think his backup.
And Murray is not Saka's
Yeah, he
backup.
is. Yeah, he is.
He's
He's been playing
not.
like one. So
He's not. He happens to be playing like that just because of injuries.
no, well, yeah, that's
And
what I
where
mean. He's the backup.
he should be the backup to Erdogan, and he should
He's
have
not.
played like
No.
that after the fourth game of the season.
All right,
he
but
didn't.
one question, Gary. Who would be one? And listen, I know Anwari's earned his Spurs, earned his right to play this season. But if Saka's injured, isn't Ethan Waneri one of the players who would be considered to play in that position?
And where he can play a lot of positions, I believe.
Yeah, we're
So
not
I
talking
think
about backups.
it's the same
play.
thing with Skelly. Skelly is an 8, right? But he happens to be playing fullback right now because that's what we need.
Yeah.
He's decent at it, but he's an 8. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel sometimes players, you you should play a player in their best position, right? I don't
Yeah.
think where he's is a backup right wing in this team.
No, but he's not. He's not
good
a
enough.
backup
He's good
right wing
enough.
in that sense.
He's good enough to start for this team.
Yeah.
So for me, you either find a place for him to play or you sell him for a lot of money. You can't have him play. You can't have him sit behind Saka. I think that would be wasteful.
So Saka comes back, Gary. Where do you think and where we should deploy Ethan Waneri?
I don't know.
I know.
I'm on the
I
left
agree.
wing. I don't know. Saka on the left wing. I don't know.
Martinelli sits. Trossard sits.
Is Saka going to be back? I mean, I think I heard you guys talk. I don't think we should rush him back.
Saka's going to want to get back for that.
Yeah, but you
Real
have to
Madrid
control a player from themselves sometimes, right? Like he doesn't have to come back right now, and especially if you think he's gonna, like that injury is not an injury to play with, right?
No.
So for me, you should take all the precautions you have. You have right now. You have a player that fits in perfectly.
I don't know when is the dates for the quarterfinals.
I thought it was in after the international break, which is in April, right?
Yeah. Well, no, I think there's one coming up pretty soon.
Well, no, the end of March is the international break.
Tony
so
knows
that's
all
when,
about.
That's when
Tony knows all about them.
So if he's back in April, he would play. He could play in those quarterfinal matches.
Yeah. Tony, do you know, is this the 8th or 9th international break coming up?
It would probably be the 6th.
You said there's 10 throughout the season, right, Tony?
There's 7.
Seems like a lot. Do you think they would play a full strength team in the second leg or a weaker team? I mean, does that include potentially Bukayo Saka? Are we talking in that way, Tiger and Gunnar? You know what I mean?
But that's the problem. If Saka is available, it doesn't matter what physical condition he is. Arteta's gonna put him out there.
Yeah.
Because
it does. It does matter about his physical condition. It does matter if he's in the red zone.
You had him play him every game in the World Cup. We were supposed to have a Boxing Day break, but we didn't. So he comes in on Boxing Day, just less than 2 weeks after England was eliminated from the World Cup. And guess what? Saka started.
Yeah.
So it's not, like I said, he's going to start if he's fit or not fit. As long as he's player to be selected, he's going to be out there playing. And Ray, I would say Waneri and Skelly are better than both the summer signings, which are like questions for summer signings. And it also questions why hasn't these players featured in the first team more in just a few minutes.
Last season or this season?
Prior to the season, because
Yeah.
last
Well,
year I
yeah.
don't think when Aries playing
Age might have
Scaly. It's
being
not
a year
age.
younger might
It's
have
not
been a
age.
factor, Tony.
It could have been 8 fucking injuries. Could be the reason, right?
Could have been as well. Yeah, listen, I'm thankful that these talents have forced their way into the reckoning. While Lewis
So,
Kelly has been exceptional, and one area has been
and,
better than exceptional.
and it really makes you question Balogun and Cheeto
Balogun.
because there's a strong possibility that we could be playing against Cheeto this weekend.
Yeah, for the last 10 minutes of the
No,
game.
he's been training with the first team. He can start.
He's been training with the first team for a long time, but now getting 10 or 15 minutes at the
No,
end
he
of the
just
game.
now started training with them like just
BX said,
a couple weeks ago.
I think Benny Blanco gets cooked if he starts against Real. Needs game time to build up to that kind of match. I think he will have some game time to do that as well, BX. And
Against two, right?
that quarterfinal is 2, 3, 4 weeks away from now. So there'll be plenty of time to do that.
It's a month until we play that, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we play Chelsea. We play, there's 3 games at least until then. So
Chelsea, Fulham April 1st, and then Everton on
yeah.
April 5th.
How long does it take you to be match fit, Ray?
About 3 weeks.
No, it's like 6 to 9 weeks to be
Oh.
match fit. not to be fit enough
Goalpost
to play a
moving.
match. No, to be out there and being up to your.
No,
bar.
come on now. 3 weeks will be fine.
He's been with the
Ben
team for
White.
how many weeks now, Tony? He's been on the bench. He's been getting minutes for how many weeks now? So if you're saying it's 9 weeks, it might be 9 weeks by the time he's up to snuff based on where
Yeah,
the amount of times he's been on the bench.
I think BX. I think Ben
you
White
have to
will be
be
back.
playing. You have to be playing.
So now you have to be playing. It's not the fact that you're part of
You
the
can't
squad practicing and then you
training.
build up to the.
You can't be training. You have to be playing. Gary, Tony's rules.
No, it's been rules ever since forever.
Tony's
no,
rules.
There's a
No.
book. There's a book somewhere.
No, we've done this forever. What happens?
Based on what you just said, there's no way
listen.
Saka's playing in April. Then
You're cooking him now,
no
Gary.
way.
Nope.
No way. Based on what you
Listen,
just said,
nope.
what you're saying right now,
Tony,
there's
you get
no
cooked.
way
How
Saka's
scary.
playing in April.
I want to play him. I want to play him. But anyway, what does a player generally do? They go to non-contact training, practice. Then they go to normal training. When they're doing normal contact training, then they're playing for under 21s. Then they
We don't
come
do
to
that.
the first
That's
team.
not our
That's
model.
what we have always have done.
That is
except
not
for the
our
last-
model today, though, Tony. When's the
the
last time
two-
you've seen a player that's part of our first team play in the U21s? Marquinhos, he's the last one I know. And he's not part of our first team.
It's been 2 years.
Tony, you're gone quiet now.
No, it's 2 years.
2 years, what? Since we used the model where we play in the U21s as part
Yep.
of our recovery?
Yep.
Yeah, because Erdogan didn't do it.
Some
just went out
players
there and
don't
played.
do it.
So you think Saka's the one player that's going to do it then? And Ben White is one of those players that's going to do it?
We were talking
About
Ben
we're talking about Ben
White.
White, and we're talking about and I bring Saka in because there's no way he's playing in April if you think he needs 8 to 9 weeks to get ready.
I told you Arteta's to play him no matter what. If he's in
But
the
you
team,
just said it takes 8 to 9 weeks. So now you're
I
saying
said
they can break the rules, is what you just said?
I said it takes 6 to 9 weeks to get
Not 6 to 9
match
weeks, sorry, not 8 to 9. Okay.
He's moving the goalposts.
And I also said Saka would play because Arteta
So based on what you're just saying, Ben White could play on the weekend.
Tony was in
Unfortunately,
Paris this midweek, moving the goalposts so that PSV couldn't score against Allison. It was really Tony. It wasn't Allison. It was saving those shots. I'll give the second leg to Tierney and White against PSV. Put Mazzo, Scally in midfield. Tony, I think that Ben White will be fine, irrespective of your rules for players coming back.
it's not new rules. It's been the rules for fucking ever, and you know it.
Well,
right?
you have not seen that rule implemented since Arteta's got here.
Yes, I have.
When?
2 years
When's
ago.
the last time
you
you saw a player go through a 6 to 9 week re-entry back into the first team?
That's not what I said. I take it.
You just said that. You said it takes
No, I
6 to
didn't.
9 weeks to get back into the first team.
I said it takes 6 to 9 weeks to get match fit. I didn't say it takes 6 to 9 weeks to get into the first team.
Fit, so they're not even ready to start?
They can play,
Match
but they're
fit.
not match fit.
Is that what you mean?
Match fit.
6
Not
to 9
fit.
6 to
Not
9
match
weeks to be match fit. So they're not ready to
Gary.
start yet?
Gary, hush. Match fit is what you do in preseason. what you do in preseason training and the first 3 weeks of a season.
So
That's where
when
you
they're
get
match fit, do they start or are they not ready to start yet?
They start, Gary. It just doesn't mean he's match fit. He might be running towards the 50.
Saka
George-
at 50% is better than anything we got on the left wing.
Why could be headed towards the halfway line, running back, trying to protect the goal. But guess what? His hamstring goes
Well, that's
out.
why you know
That's because he's not
that's
match
why
fit.
you have Skelly behind him. Skelly's gonna do all the work, right?
That's because you need to be match fit.
Yeah. I listen. He's getting his match fitness now, Tony. As Gary said, Ben White has been coming on.
How many
games.
fucking minutes has he played?
You tell me. He's probably played 60 minutes right now across the 3 or 4 games that we've been playing.
Let's go to the videotape and see. Ben White. Where are you?
And and Tony, those 3 weeks where he's been getting 15, 20 minutes here and there are bringing him up to match fitness now. Another 3 or 4 weeks, maybe going with England as well. And he will be fully match fit by the time we have Real Madrid or Atletico. And Gary's compiling the minutes right now as we speak, I think. You know,
it's not promising, but all right.
Is it 60? Please let it be close to 60.
No.
45.
No,
35.
not even close.
He's got 5 or 10 minutes here and there.
Yeah, well, according to this, he's got 25 minutes.
So fuck you.
When you do that, you remind me of Cat Weasel.
Fuck you, Ray. Fuck both.
Cat Weasel. That was the Cat Weasel laugh right there. Yeah. And some people will know Cat Weasel in this chat box here.
Bad Ray.
I can hear that music now. I can hear the Cat Weasel music. If you don't know Cat Weasel, check it out. Our Champions League campaign hinges on who is healthy and who is not. I mean, Real Madrid's hinges on who's healthy and who's not. If we can get players back and up to speed, things change for us. So that's an optimistic appraisal of the situation from Stephen there. If we get Martinelli and Saka back, and listen, we're going to talk about the goals as well. Mikel Merino, in the 3 goals that he has scored, he's taken those goals pretty well. It's not like he's a player who doesn't know what he's doing up there. You know what I mean? I know it's not an Ollie Watkins, but we didn't go and get an Ollie Watkins. I would not go to Ben White over Mazzu Skelly. They tried the same thing with Kane and Mora in the Champions League final, and Kane stunk. Stick with Mazzu Skelly. So Red John maybe leaning a little bit in Tony's direction there. You're getting validated by Red John there, Tony. And Mazzu Skelly is linking well with one area. Definitely, we're going to talk about that goal as well. We'll get into the goals now pretty soon. Sometimes safe is not better. BX said Mazda is progressing extremely well, in my opinion. As Gary and we have mentioned, we need to see that maturity in his play. He's been stung 2 or 3 times now, and he's had to have a lesson in Champions League of being saved from himself. Hopefully, that stuff will sink in, and we'll see a more mature. Uh, he wears the heart. He wears the badge on his heart, though, and he plays that way for Arsenal. Stan said we had 2 strikers on the bench, one 29 years and the other 22. Why didn't one of them get 10 minutes when we're coasting? Very good point. I mean, we had all of that time, and we had all of those substitutes that we could have brought. Somebody other than Tierney, White, Calafiori, whoever else, one of 5 fullbacks coming on to get minutes for us. If Butler or Deji can't get into the team at 22 and never will, but how do we sell him if no one ever sees him play? Yeah, Gary's been talking about that for years. They must train with the team every week to be on the bench, yet they can't get a sniff.
Yeah, I this whole loyalty thing. We saw this. Remember, we saw this in the I think it was one of the cup matches. It was late in the game. I think we were losing 3-0, and we brought Saka on. What?
Yeah,
Why do we bring Saka on? We're losing 3-0. Bring
Yeah.
somebody else on. You don't bring him in for that. I mean, that's
give some of these
poor
players
poor player
experience.
management from Arteta
Yeah.
in certain situations. I mean, you're up 5-1 on the road. You can pull some players. He doesn't do that. The only players that got to play are the ones that have been have been part of the first team.
For a while.
Yeah. So I mean, the
Yeah.
loyalty makes no sense in that
You get
situation.
Sterling coming on. You got Zinchenko coming on. Tierney and White. Probably
Yeah.
Zinchenko and Tierney are not with
Tierney's
us.
not going to be part of the team next
Yeah.
year. We know that. So why does he
Yeah.
get to go on?
I know.
What benefit do you get of bringing him on?
Well, some people say that we will maybe need Kieran Tierney in games.
Yeah, but not in that
going forward.
game. You need him in
No.
the big games.
But to build
He's a
him up,
senior-
build his
he's a-
match fitness.
He's not going to get anything out
I
of
don't
this
want to
game.
go
Come
with
on.
Tony here, but
Come on.
build the match fitness.
He's getting nothing out of this game. Come on. He could get the same exercise
gotta
throughout
sweat
the
on.
week, right?
You got to sweat on.
You're not gonna. You can't tell me that. Yes, we need to bring Tierney on to get his sweat on. He can just run around the pitch, same
Yeah.
sweat, man.
Yeah,
Or he can use Gary's Peloton.
I know. Red John says it seems like a lot of teams have former Arsenal keepers these days. Oh man, you know how to get Tony started here. Chesney at Barcelona, Fabianski, Martinez, Leno, and Ramsdale. Definitely. We're farming out goalkeepers left, right, and center. Isn't Wanari's favorite position attacking midfield? If so, he can cover for Saka and Odegaard. Well, I think what we're saying is when Saka and Odegaard are fit, that Wanari should be able to force himself into another area of the field as well.
There's a big question. Like, can Odegaard, Saka, and Rice play in that midfield together?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that would be a potent attack, right?
Yeah. Play Rice at that 6, and even Wanari and Odegaard is your 8s. That would be.
Right. And we have big questions because not only that, so then like Skelly could play the 8, right?
Mhm.
So Arteta's got, he's got some
Options.
problems in the sense that who is our starting? What is our strongest 11 next season based on what we have today? Much less what we bring in. If we're bringing in Zubamendi, so then that adds another variable to the midfield. Somebody's going to be sitting on the sidelines, or they're going to have to find a place for them. That's why I feel like Nweri needs to.
We all
needs to
know
be on the pitch.
We all know we need a 9 as well, right?
We need wingers too, right?
No, we need a 9 first, Tony.
Do we?
Yes, we do.
Have you seen our at-loan player? Have you seen Jesus? Have you?
I don't know where you're going.
Martinelli's not cutting it. And
I'm talking about A striker, Tony.
our
I'm
penalty-
talking about a striker. You're not going to win anything until we get a striker. The last trophy we won, we had a striker who scored goals. You know? Please tell me you're on board with this, Tony.
You're bringing up Jesus. He's not going to come back until the end of the year, so we're not going to wait for him. Same thing with Kai Havertz. He's not going to be back until late in the first half of the season. We're not going to wait for that. We shouldn't be waiting for that.
No.
And even when they come back, if they had a similar, like they what is it? Both had, hamstring issues. All right.
Achilles.
Or Achilles. But
That-
so
that-
like it's even
Jesus.
worse. It's a worse recovery, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
He's done till
We're-
December.
But
Tony?
Ray was talking about
All right.
you getting a striker in. You can't get a striker in until the summer. So I'm saying you're to have up to 4 wingers leave.
Wingers don't play in the striker position. I don't know why you're getting confused.
We played
Ray.
with a short team to begin with, so you're acting like we don't have spaces, and we just said Tierney's gone, Zinni's most likely gone, Kirio might be gone, right?
Yeah.
You're
Jorginho's
forgetting,
probably gone.
Tomiyasu should be.
You're forgetting that somebody else that will be gone, the left winger.
Who's the left winger that's gone?
He's
Jordan.
from Belgium. Does that help you? He's from
Trust.
Belgium.
I thought you were going to go.
How do you know he's gone and not just negotiating for money?
He was negotiating. He was trying to get a fucking January move, but everybody got hurt, so he stayed.
Man. Tony, do you recognize, Tony, that we need to buy a striker, right, in the summer?
I've only been talking about it for 2.5 fucking years, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
You sound like you weren't though.
You're against it. You sound like you're against it.
Yeah, you can need more than one thing. We
I
need,
know,
But we
but
need a
what's the
striker more
priority?
than anything on this team.
Yeah.
we need like 3 wingers and we need 3 strikers. Not
We
8
need a
strikers.
striker. High priority, number one target.
Yeah.
Get your striker in.
Yeah. Red John said, I agree with you,
Plus 2
Gary.
strikers.
Odegaard is garbage. I like to sell him as soon as possible.
I'm just saying we've the talents that we have. If Arteta doesn't play the best talented players that he has, they might leave, and then we'll be like, why is and where are you leaving? What's going on? Why is Skelly leaving? You know?
Yeah.
So
The time, I mean, listen, it's past due where we need to get a striker to be able to power ourselves toward silverware in competitions. Red John doesn't like Odegaard. He'd choose Havertz 10 out of 10 times if it meant selling Odegaard, but
they don't play the
Odegaard
same
had a good
positions for
performance.
me. Like
Huh?
Havertz isn't taking Erdegaard's position, so for me,
Oh.
I don't see I don't see the benefit of. I don't see how the two relate to me, anyways.
Yeah. I agree with you. I don't see Havertz playing in that position. False 9. I think Odegaard has maybe one good game all season, and that was, yeah.
And that
He
wasn't
hasn't
even the whole
been-
game. That was the second half of that game. He came alive in the second half. He had opportunities to come alive in the first half, but he didn't.
I saw a tweet, Gary, about Odegaard where it looked like his child has started to have settled nights now. His performances have come back. So having a newborn,
You mean his son started to fall asleep in the first half of the game, and then bang.
In the lead up, so he could build up his match fitness.
Build up his match fitness. All right, building up his match fitness. That's going to be the new phrase.
I'm just ingratiating Tony a little bit there. Odegaard's having a bad patch. He's a great talent and could come good. We need it to happen, right? Because we have had such a stop-start.
The thing is, for me, Stan, it's taken too long now. I mean, Stan, I think that's the problem. It's taken very, very long for him to get back into form, and he's not there yet because we've seen a glimpse of it, right? You haven't seen it in back-to-back games. So for me, I think it's taken too long, and whether it's there or not, I don't know. And like he can't be a player that I need to depend on all these other players to make my game work. We saw Saka without a lot of players around him. He made it work, and that's what we need. I mean, our captain shouldn't get pulled in games when we need to score, and that's part of his role is to help us create getting goals scored. Right? Our captain should be playing 90 minutes all the time. If he can't do that, then you know what? I think that he's not the captain until he's ready to get to that point.
Your
Right?
your captain your captain needs to be the most consistent player on the field, the one who's always going to be there, and the one who can lead by the way he
You,
plays as well as the way he conducts himself verbally on the field.
do you play an attacking midfielder? Do you play him back covering your right back? Should that be what you're doing?
You're talking about a certain percentage of the game, not
A,
100% of the game.
a good percentage of lots of
Well,
games.
I'd like to
I
talk
said,
about if you show me his heat map and if it's red in the area you're talking about, I'll hold my hand up.
you don't want to look at it last month because it looks like a headless fucking chicken because he's all over.
Havertz has terrible performance, but his stats are decent. And Red John just talks about right now in terms of what he sees right now. Odegaard has neither. Um, like I said, no Saka till next season. Stephen is very sure about that. It's not even a conversation. Yeah, listen. Should did we count on Odegaard to score over 10 goals this season? Yes, we did. And it hasn't happened for him so far this season.
Or last season. But that's
Or
the way
last season. Fair.
that's the way he has played, not the way he plays. Key difference there.
Right. Odegaard without Saka is useless because Odegaard gets all of his assists off Saka, which means Odegaard is pure garbage.
Or if you want to go to most
I mean,
sports, if you want to go to
if
most sports, you say that's what he's been assigned to do,
yeah,
and that
if we're saying Odegaard can't play well without Saka, then there is a real problem. You know, when Saka's not there, Odegaard needs to carry the team as well. But we did see it yesterday, 7-1 or the day before.
No, you didn't see it yesterday. We're already up 3-1 when he came alive.
But how long have we been blaming left backs or left midfielders for the way that Martinelli's playing, which I don't agree with.
As Stan said, we've seen Odegaard score 15 in the season. It is in there, but what are we doing differently? Odegaard is not getting to the penalty spot to sweep left-footed shots into the goal. You know what I mean?
Have you
We're not
seen where
seeing
he's
him
being
getting
played?
there.
It's
What?
what he's been assigned to do, right? It's what Arteta's telling him to do.
Possibly.
Not
There's a
possibly.
video. There's a video of Odegaard and Trossard being the only two players up front, and Odegaard intentionally runs away from Trossard. You guys see a $1 billion prize for the winner of the club. Wow, World Cup.
Yeah.
Odegaard leaving the hype is that one world-class pass he made 2 seasons ago. This is true. I mean, we're hyping up that through ball. Arsenal generally don't play through the middle. We play down the side, so you're not going to see Odegaard playing a through ball until we get the striker. Right, Alonso? You think that's fair? We can't ask that of Odegaard if he doesn't have a striker in front of him that he
Or
can pass to.
wingers.
Yeah, because they're just getting by with Arteta's system. I remember 2 years ago that when he finished second the first time, you had Odegaard, you had Saka, you had Xhaka, you had Martinelli scoring all kind of goals to both sides because it worked. And now, this past 2 seasons with Havertz scoring as his own striker, and then you having Saka scoring, and then Martinelli, Trezor scoring. There's not enough. There's not enough the midfield to be creative. So they're struggling to get goals get goals elsewhere, and it worked because Gabriel Magalhaes is scoring from corner kicks, from corners, and other people scoring from set pieces as well. And then seeing goals from Declan Rice or someone from the fullback position scoring goals, which is not bad, but it forces Arteta to change the way that they play. And it takes away goals from Odegaard or the left. The other left eight, Rice has 7 goals last year, so you're seeing goals scored from less positions in the midfield than you're used to seeing them be scored. Um, and Martinelli has been so inconsistent that you've had it to depend on Saka so much that when he's out, his creativity is also missing as well. So yeah, they had to do all kind of things differently, which even makes Odegaard play differently as well. So this is why it's important for me that Odegaard got those 2 goals yesterday in hopes that it'll make him more confident going forward.
Yeah.
Scoring goals, rather.
Yeah. Odegaard doesn't have the bite the Maslow Kelly have, in my opinion, played number 8 role. Yeah, I don't think you need to have that bite. I don't think BX you could say that Odegaard is a tackling midfielder either. You know what I mean? Is that what he means by bite?
Yeah, but you still see him going up covering for your right back. That shouldn't be what he's doing. He needs to be on the attack. You have the defense. You spent money on it. Instead of buying a striker
Yeah.
or a winger, you buy a fucking other left back that isn't as good as Skelly.
Yeah, I think a striker and a left back could be some of the things that we need this summer as well. I don't want to hear none of this Watkins. Huh?
We need everything in the kitchen sink, right?
We do need to continually keep upgrading this team. We do need more. I don't want to hear none of this Watkins talk in the summer. A 30-year-old striker is not good enough. Has to be Isak or Jokeris. No one else.
Yep.
My thoughts is get an Ollie Watkins now, and you have him for 2 seasons. You can still go.
You could have
get an Isak.
Gary, say we could have had him in January, like you like to say, which is true, which should have happened. You could have won the Premier League this year. Now you get into what Red John's saying, and you have a older striker, which we haven't fared very well with.
Watkins can't be the number 1 option when Isak and Gyökeres are on the table. I mean, I think Asensio is better than what we have right now, right?
Yeah. Beto.
Asensio that's playing for Villa right now.
How about Beto from Everton? He was decent in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think there's at least 4 or 5 strikers out there. I think that would be best suited to be high priority over Watkins. One, because of the age, but if we can't get any of them, then Watkins isn't a bad choice. I know it's the age thing, but if you can't get Isak or Gyökeres, what do you do? Nobody. I don't think anybody wants Sesko. Sesko is not going to help us tomorrow. He's going to help us in a couple of seasons. I think he made a mistake by not coming in the summer when we wanted to bring him over.
Yeah.
By now he would have had all the minutes he needed. One, for us to figure out if he's the one or not. But also to get into a groove of playing some football, because he would have probably stood out against Jesus and against Kai Havertz, right? If he's a true striker, right, and if he was allowed to play as a striker, then you would see the difference, right? We know the difference. Like nobody thinks Kai is a striker, right? I mean, Kai in Arsenal team is a good backup to the head striker, right?
He's a forward.
Yeah, but I mean, you're playing him as in that 9 position, whether you like it or not. You're not playing out wide, are you?
You're not playing him in the middle either, though. He's playing deep.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's coming off the bench, right? You're up 2-0. You bring him on. See out the game.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying now.
You
now
bring
he's
if
not.
you bring Sesko last summer, you bring Sesko, even if he didn't break into the team in the first 3 months of the season, he would be valuable right now to lead the line going forward and have
But the
lots of minutes.
problem is, Arteta does not play nines as nines. We know this. We insisted playing a guy that
Tony,
Klopp.
Hmm.
Where was Aubameyang playing with Klopp? It was the left wing. Where did Arsenal score more points per game at? Aubameyang on the left. But what did Arteta do until Aubameyang got in a fight with one of the coach's staff, which is probably Arteta himself?
it was because Lacazette was keeping him on the left wing, Tony.
And Lacazette scored 17 goals that season, and he could have scored more if he was in his correct position and not being on the bench because
Yeah, well, we have to get to a
was trying-
point. This is Arsenal Football Club. We have to get to a point where we put a striker, we buy a striker, and we play him at number 9. Or else, I'm sorry, Mikel Arteta, you got to go. You buy a striker to play him at number 9 consistently, and if you're not going to do that, bring someone else in who will.
Can we get a German? So let's say 999.
9999.
That's poor.
One hour played striker, attacking midfielder, and winger in the academy, playing up front, mostly wrecking havoc. We have opportunity to try some things. I think Martinelli has plateaued. Think he should upgrade him. Also think we can do better than Trossard unless he's happy. We bench and back up.
Stan was paying attention to me, saying we need wingers because you could be gone 4 because that's Jesus, those two, and the guy that we should have.
Stan also said we need 2 strikers, so it's about priorities as well. Jokers has to be a preference or an agreement with the club, hence why nobody has gone in for him. What's going on, Alonso?
Oh, just references to certain players.
Yeah. Tony's fridge looks like a secret chamber. Lisa Hogwarts.
Right.
I'd go for Jonathan David on free plus Clivert and Mbuemo for attacking options.
I definitely agree with the concept of just getting only Premier League players.
Mhm.
I mean, there's no acclimating to the Premier League, and we know they. I mean, outside of Jonathan David, we know Mbuemo and Cliverts are doing it in the league right now, right? I mean, there's a lot to be said about staying in the Premier League and just maybe you pay a little premium for it, but guess what? You don't have to worry about whether or not they know how to play football in the league, whether they can hold up to it.
Where they can live in that environment of that league as well.
Right.
Yeah. A creative player cannot be creative when the system dictates that the players cannot make runs. They all have their assigned area. You cannot play creative football with no movement.
That's just a problem.
I thought we played a fluid game against PSV. It could have
you barely saw many runs that we completed. A lot of it was build up. Like the first 2 goals were just build up, right? Across after some build up to Timber, across a nice little pass from Miles Lewis-Scarry, and then we got the goal from Moreno, right? None of that was a run. We saw it late in the game when the game was pretty much over, right? When
you have a run from one area from right hand side to the central area to meet that cross from Miles Lewis-Scarry.
He didn't make a big run. He was already on that side. He just had to cut in front of the defender.
He made a run from the right to get into the
box. It wasn't a long run. I know what you're saying, where he starts off the play, but by the time Skelly has that ball and is about to turn, he's right there. He doesn't have to make a big run. He
ran from the right wing into the box to meet that ball.
No, he didn't. He was already there. He just had to jump in front of the defender.
Watch it back. He ran into the box to meet that. He was moving. Waneri was continually moving.
I got a question for you, Ray.
Yeah, shoot.
Yeah, you have PSV, which I think is a second or third division team. Let's have fun. Bring our buddy in, Mister guy, and you have Leeds versus PSV. Who's a win the best out of 5 games?
Wow. Probably Leeds, right?
Probably Leeds.
Yeah, the way they've been playing this season. Yeah.
So that
But
tells
they won't be
you.
winning 7-1, Tony, either. You know?
I'm just glad to get clarification that doesn't count on our 6+ goals.
Arteta
It
system
does
sucks.
count on the 6+ goals. When you score 7 goals on a team, you
No.
go, "Oh no, it's not. Oh, it's this team, so it doesn't count." No, they
He's talking
count.
about the prediction
Uh,
podcast earlier in the season.
Our Premier League prediction show.
Okay, all right.
He keeps
Yeah.
harking back to that, so I have to
I don't know
check.
what prediction show he's talking about. I don't know when was the last time we did one of those.
Probably like September.
No.
Okay, one from Red John here. Have you guys considered using the only world-class striker we have at the club, Tomiyasu, for striker? Listen, I think they've all tried. They've all played striker in training sessions. I think, you know, who are we
Well,
going to play up top this time?
Well,
What can we play to? Go
I
ahead.
thought that goal that Tomiyasu had against Everton was a great goal.
Yeah, that was a great goal, and he's injured. Then after scoring that, he's injured for this whole time. You know, why can't we buy 2 strikers? Why can't we get David and Sesko, for example? Listen,
That's what I want to know.
Sesko seems more likely than Isak. David's
Sesko's the worst choice of all of the choices.
Ray, will you ask Dan a question for me?
Ask who?
Why don't you just ask the man? You're the one speaking.
Yeah. Just go.
It's Stan. How many strikers does Arsenal generally have?
Oh my gosh! Why do we need to know that today?
Arteta.
Why does that matter?
Because I suspect Stan will enter 4 into.
Yeah, but why does that
keyboard.
matter? What does that have to do with anything? That's going on today?
Because 0 is not the answer. 1 is not the answer. 2 probably isn't the answer. You need at least 3 strikers. Sorry.
When you played,
says he's got the strikers.
I will probably put the answer in. I suspect Stan will put in. When you played 4-4-2, you needed 4 strikers. Now you play 4-3-3. You're probably gonna need 2 strikers.
But we have 0.
We have 0. But we
So why is buying 1 striker the answer when you need more?
Well, we let's start with 1, Tony.
Well, we already seen what happens. You have a Saka. What happens when a Saka goes now? You're fucked because you don't have a good enough wingers backup. You buy Sterling with.
We do now.
Sterling looks like
Nweri's not our
85-year-old
backup.
man.
If that's a backup, I believe we're wasting him.
The terminology. You can argue about the terminology, but if Saka's injured,
no, that's not what you're talking about. When you say when Saka comes back, where does Nweri play?
I said forget about the terminology.
No. Where does Nweri play when Saka comes back to the first team?
I would play him on the left side.
Okay.
I would.
That's all I'm saying.
I think we agree in that respect.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I don't think we have a better left wing than Nweri on this squad.
Nweri's better than Martinelli and better than Trossard.
I don't think we have a better left wing than Nweri on this squad.
Yeah, I'm confirming what you said.
Okay, I was like, why are you reconfirming what I just said?
I'm reiterating it for emphasis.
Oh, you said it in different ways. It makes it sound different. Makes it sound better.
I'm denying it. Ray's embracing it.
What?
Come on, just he can't spot what runs Trossard does. You've seen what disses that he sure tied.
Listen,
one right
Tony,
off his head.
Tony.
One right off his head that he almost missed.
Leandro Trossard can do things that Ethan Nweri can't do, but on the whole, Ethan Nweri is a better player than Trossard.
What can Trossard do that is better than what Nweri can do?
The pass. the cross.
So you mean the
Blah, blah, blah.
cross to Moreno for the header to put us into
And the
to
Havertz,
seal
yeah.
the game. That's
Every player has certain things in their game that are
you've seen
better than
in
anyone
where we
else's.
make passes in games, and there's
Yeah.
nobody there to get on the end of it. So I don't think Trossard can do something better than Inweri in this scenario that we have on
There's
this
got to
squad.
be something that Trossard can do
He's
better
good
than
off the
Waneri.
bench, right?
Trossard he's good as a starter. Last 10 games last year, 6 goals. That's not bad.
You don't think Inweri can get 6 goals if he gets the same minutes? He probably can get
Absolutely, I
10.
agree with you.
I bet you he gets
Gary,
10 if he gets the same minutes.
Play both of them up front in a 4-4-2.
No.
That's
Nobody-
your fucking answer.
No, if Saka's playing and where he's playing, Trossard don't start.
Excuse your
man.
language.
Trossard doesn't start if that's the situation.
Red John saying Osman's cheaper than Watkins. Arteta couldn't convince him to join.
I wonder who does he mean by that? Convince
Probably Watkins,
Watkins?
I would say.
My understanding was we didn't want to pay the 15 mil.
Yeah.
Mm.
And who knows anyway, because we'll never know, because John Duran was on his way
That's
to
why we
Saudi
should have
Arabia.
went for, if we really wanted a striker, you go at the beginning of the window, not at the end.
Yeah.
It didn't look
well,
right.
When we have been at our best, City, Forest, Game 1,
Yeah.
and PSV, we
Oh,
played
so
with
he's
pace.
talking about Arsenal couldn't convince Sesko to come. Well, we don't want him. If you can't convince
listen.
Sesko to come to an Arsenal team that is a position where we are, nah. I'm sorry, dude. This is not nah.
If they buy him, Gary, you'll support him.
He won't do what we want, and
If-
we'll be complaining once again.
Listen, is he going to miss chances? Yes.
No.
Will he be more prolific?
If
than
you have
Eddie
a
and
chance to
Kenny
get
and
somebody
Jesus?
better than him, you get somebody better than him.
Well, is he better than Havertz, Gary?
No. I want somebody better than Sesko. I don't want somebody better than
Well, there's
an
not
injured
many.
player who's not playing for the next 5 to 6 months.
There are
That's
not many
easy.
players out there that are better than Sesko.
There are. There's called Osimhen. There's called Watkins, as you just mentioned. There's called Gyökeres, all right? There's the Beto. There's another. I can't remember. There's a German player, I believe. There's lots of players better than Sesko.
Florian Wirtz.
I don't know. No, I don't think he's a striker, right? So I
He
don't
is.
think he's a striker.
That's
Oh,
probably the
all right.
player you're talking
He's
about.
he's definitely better than Sesko. Right? If he's a
There might
striker,
be 4 or
I think
5.
Asensio is better than Sesko. From what the little
come
bit
on.
that I've seen him play
How
for
old is
Villa.
Asensio? Asensio's what, 29?
Oh, I don't know, but he's probably
Give-
better than Sesko.
Give 10 million.
We need
sign
players that
another
can play
90.
today, right? Like you saw Asensio get acclimated to that Villa team very quickly, right?
Yeah,
Sesko
he did.
might take some time.
He did. Aston Villa are a strange one. They're sinking down the league a little bit. Where are they? 10th place right now, Aston Villa. Osimhen ended Napoli's Serie A drought, guys, which is similar to what Arsenal are going through right now. Let's. I don't know. I don't know if Arteta would go for an Osimhen either. You know, Osimhen, similar. So the goals, Gary, we're sort of mentioning them a little bit. We'll go through the goals real quick. Jurgen Timber scoring on the back post. This all happened after Gabriel forced the striker to hit the ball onto the upright. So we got away with one there, and then we go ahead with Jurgen Timber scoring on the back post. Tony Aubameyang. That was a nicely worked cross from Rice onto Timber.
Very nice.
How about the second goal then? We got Mazo Kelly and Ethan Waneri. That was a nice connection between two of the youngest players in the team. I think it's a record for Champions League as well for an assist and a goal scorer in terms of their age.
Yep.
Hi, Ray. I was just wondering what's your opinion on Arsenal winning the Champions League if we use Tommy Yasu as striker. Lawrence is goalkeeper. Listen, I think Lawrence he could he could keep our defense pretty tight back there. Actually, forget Nico Williams and get Ferran Torres from Barcelona. Tony's gone. Oh, you still have that shirt on? Okay.
Gotta go
I'm gonna-
migrate.
I'm gonna call that the marble cake shirt.
The marble cake. even though it has palm trees on it.
Yeah, but it looks like marble cake. It's got that pattern.
You're just hungry for cake, right?
Our new sporting director can get us Julian Alvarez. Is that a done deal yet with the sporting director? No, but he's in prime position, right?
We don't know who it is. Till we see who
Alberta?
it is, I don't think we can even comment on who we could bring in, right? We're assuming it's
The Atletico Madrid guy
yeah.
is the talk right now. We've been on the same page about Ferran Torres. Tony, how about that third goal for Mikel Merino? We talked about the header from Timber, the goal from Waneri, and Mikel Merino. Listen, I thought they were going to chalk this one off for offside, but the actual PSV defender gets a touch on it.
Yeah, a lot of his are close to being offsides. But he gets in the right positions, but he's still just. We need a striker.
That's a striker's goal, right?
That was a good finish.
That's a
That was
striker's
good
goal,
finish.
right?
Yeah.
Right, Tony?
The
But
theory on Reed.
No, Tony. That is a striker's goal, right?
I don't want to hear it, Gary. Because
No, answer the question, Tony.
I don't want
That
to
is
hear
a striker's goal, right?
I don't want to hear suggested that we should move a 28-year-old.
No, that's not what I said. I asked you a
journeyman
question.
into
You're
striker.
embellishing it because you don't want to say yes. That's fine, but you know what? All the people
He's a
know
politician,
you
Tony
answered
is.
yes. You said yes, right? So there you go.
I don't care what my answer
No,
is.
you said
Tony.
yes. That's okay. We get it. We get it.
This could be a political show right now, and Tony doesn't want to make a stance.
Here we go.
You're gonna tell me everything about everything else than what I asked you.
Nope. Gary, do you want to play a 28?
I asked you a simple question. That's a striker's goal, right?
Do you want to play a 28-year-old journeyman midfielder as your striker when you're trying to win the Premier League? Is that what you want to do? The answer is no.
Nobody said that.
We don't get to
That's not the
choose.
question I posed to you.
Yeah.
The point is, I don't.
The question
care
I
because
posed
he
to you
shouldn't be
was
in the
that was a
position.
striker's goal, right?
It
Right,
doesn't
Tony?
matter.
Yes.
He
No,
Tony,
go ahead.
It doesn't
Was it a
matter.
good-
Keep
Was it a
talking.
good
Yes,
finish?
that's what you.
That does not matter.
It
Was it
doesn't
a
matter.
good finish, Tony?
It was
Tony,
a
was
striker's
it a
goal.
well-taken
There you
goal?
go. Yeah,
It
that's fine.
doesn't matter. He shouldn't be there.
It doesn't matter. He's there, and that's what he's playing as. right?
when Arsenal go 3-0 up, go into Tony's bedroom. He's watching TV. He's like, Marino, you shouldn't be there. That shouldn't count. You just didn't score that goal for me. You didn't. It's not really 3-0. It's 2-0. You're not allowed to score, Mikel.
When you have the summer and the winter to get strikers, and you're having a 28-year journeyman, that means he's not very good because he's a journeyman. He goes from team to team.
He's got more trophies than many of the players on our own team.
European
because
Championship.
Yeah. Yeah. How many trophies did some of the players on our team have? Not that many.
No.
That's because Arteta doesn't get us through January on our domestic cups 3
Hmm.
years running. Two of them records this year couldn't be a record. Because
Not wrong. You're not wrong, Tony. Wanari is a waste as a backup. Yeah, we'll find his talent demands we find a spot for him on the team. When you play with two up front, you need another two sets, in my opinion, a backup of two and a young prospect too who play youth games and training with the first team. So 6 strikers.
So you were wrong, Tony. You weren't even close.
Well, we've always had 4.
No. You're wrong.
This is Tony.
You just said Stan will back you up. Stan said 6, so you're not close.
Can we do the how stoned is Tony segment right now? Not very stoned at all. because he
No.
can't. He's not able to count to 6.
I can get down to 6.
You didn't. You didn't. You said 4. You said 4 is the number.
You only got
I-
as far as 4.
I said we always had at least 4.
Nah,
is what I
oh
said.
no, whoa, Stantage told you it's 6. 6 is the number.
6 works for me because we've had that many before.
If Sesko can't compete in Arsenal, like if you're a striker and you're looking at the Arsenal striker, who they have lined up. If you look at that and go, "No, I don't think I can make a difference here," then why are we bringing you in?
I got a question for Ray.
Answer your own question first.
No,
Answer the
what
question Gary posed you.
What
You don't want to
question?
answer my question because he
Oh,
knows
yeah.
the answer is yes. Go on, say it.
It should not be something I'm being asked because he
No,
shouldn't be there.
it is because that's what we're doing.
Politician.
You're going to ask him
Tony.
some nonsense question about something that happened 5 years ago.
Tony be like,
it's
these
longer
are
than
not
that
the
ago.
questions I submitted to you, Gary, before the show.
What was Lord? What was Lord Bentner? Was he?
Oh, so
or
okay, even more
was
than
he-
5
what-
years ago.
what
So
was
even
he
more
a-
nonsense. Why are we partaking in
don't-
this?
15
don't
years
even know-
ago.
You don't even know who he is, Gary. So fuck off.
I know who he is, but I know he has nothing to do with what's going on in the last 5 years.
Was he our 4th or 5th choice striker?
Why does that matter?
Because being that he still scored 59 goals.
Third.
for us.
Why does that
was
matter
third.
today?
Third.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he was third strike.
No, he wasn't because you
He
had
was third.
You had
Because you
Walcott.
had Walcott was a winger.
Yeah.
Van
Walcott
Persie was
was
striker. You had
Giroud.
Adebayor, who was second
Adebayor.
striker.
Yeah.
You had Bentner, who was
Then Lord
fourth.
Bentner
You had Villa, who was fourth.
after that.
You had Villa, who was
You're
fourth.
losing this battle too, so you shouldn't have even brought it up.
No, I asked if he was 4th or 5th choice.
And then you had
and
us
your
having.
answer was 3. So what? What now? What does that prove, anyways? What does that matter?
It proves that you need him because he
We
scored
scored
59
more goals
for
without
Arsenal.
Bentner, all right? In the last 2 seasons coming in.
Yeah.
So obviously that doesn't matter. Yeah, we need a striker, but that doesn't matter in the whole grand scheme of things.
Yeah, but you could say we broke our record for goals last year, but it doesn't matter for shit because you still didn't have a striker. You could have still scored a lot more.
Yeah.
So you want Bentner, our third string goalkeeper goal scorer to come in. That's the level that you want to bring into Arsenal?
No, I want to have it where we're 3 or 4 deep, so you don't have to worry about a.
Can we get one
28-year
first, and
journeyman.
then we'll get the other 2?
Yeah.
No,
Let's-
because you need them all.
You can't get them all. We're not getting them. We're not getting 3 strikers, Tony.
What happened?
Well, what happened? No, what happened was
No.
we're not paying for 3 strikers in one window.
What if he had another right winger?
So now you're saying you want a winger, and that's going to be considered your striker count?
No. I said we needed. We're getting rid of 3 or 4 wingers, minimum 3 or
No.
4. Going bye bye.
No. Who we get rid of?
You get rid of Trossard. Martinelli's a big maybe. He should go.
Both
out.
of them are not going in the same window.
He Trossard would have went in the winter window, but we
Both of them are not getting sold this summer.
have injuries. Yes, they are. What?
One reason why they're not is you have Jesus and Charles and Kai Havertz not coming back to start the season.
Hey, Jesus is gonna be gone as soon as he's able.
No, you don't know what he's going to be, but right now he's not going to be on the starting lineup when
Which means
when we start the
Kai
season.
Havertz
I said
should come back. Jesus will be out till December.
And if he's out to December, that means
What
he's
universe
not
am I?
available.
What universe did I just land in? Stan and Tony agreeing on.
One
wingers.
minute Tony wants 3 strikers, and I said we're not going to get that, and he said, "Oh, I meant wings."
No,
Mhm.
I said we need both.
We're not getting 3 strikers and a wing. All right.
Three
Try,
wingers.
try again. Try again. Oh, three
Uh,
wings. Okay.
I'll
Six
take 3
attackers,
wings.
Tony.
My thing is, you say you want what? Well, you can only get one striker.
Give me one striker first, and
my,
I'll worry
my,
about the
my,
next
my,
one.
It's not good enough because you have one right winger and Saka, he's gone. If you had a backup, you win the fucking league.
What? You're talking
Eh,
about a backup that you just put in and he does the same thing as Bukayo Saka. It's not going to happen, you know?
He doesn't have to be as good, Ray, but you have to have one.
You do have to have one. You know?
Just like you have to have a backup striker. Instead, you're playing a 28-year-old journeyman midfielder as your number 9.
Who scored 3 goals for you?
Oh,
In
boo-hoo.
4
I could
games.
score.
You
I
can't
could
score
those
anything
with
for
those
anyone.
passes.
3 goals
Tony.
in 4 games is not bad.
Do you know who assisted on almost all of those? He's Belgian.
He's Belgian. Company.
No. Plays
Kevin
for Arsenal.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Plays for Arsenal.
Oh, you're making it much easier now. Trossard.
Isn't that a crime that Belgian team did not win anything? Like the best team I'll have
The
in our
national team.
lifetimes.
Yeah.
The best team they had in our lifetimes. And
Yeah, but
probably will be our lifetime.
they're playing against traditional teams like Italy, Spain, France, Germany. You know?
Yeah, but if you
Not that
look at
easy.
a player by player basis, they're better teams.
They're not deep. Not deeper than those teams.
You look at Arsenal on a player by player basis. We are a better team, but we're not doing it on the field. There's still Newcastle away. There's still West Ham at home. We're still losing these games.
As part of that, their coaching staff, though, because Henry was their assistant. I don't think he's that good at coaching.
Now you're making excuses. So you're saying the talent levels can't overcome the coaching. So you're
Yeah,
trying to say?
like
So they didn't have the talent then. That's what you're
it's
saying, right?
They have the talent. It's kind of like Arsenal. Don't have a good enough manager.
Tony, getting back to this game, we're 3-0 up, and this is something Arsenal do, right? They give the opposition a way back into the game, albeit for 5 minutes before the half.
Yeah, but that's when we've been doing it. It's been the 40th minute, 45 and added time.
And what Thomas Partey does is kind of inexcusable. You're putting your hand around the neck of a player, and you're giving the opposition an almost certain goal when it comes to a penalty.
Yep. I don't know. I still don't think we never got our money's worth out of him, but
In Partey. Alonso, what are you thinking? What were you thinking about that goal? We're 3-0 up. We've given ourselves. Listen, we didn't know at halftime. We didn't know we were going to win 7-1, right? But you're 3-0 up and you give a goal away like that, a penalty, and we look a little bit shaky coming into the halftime break. Well, at 3-1, you're thinking this. Okay, we're coasting, but they could get back into the game in the second half.
Yeah, I think Partey should know better, at least not be as physical when De Jong came out to try to, I guess, I'm assuming it was going to be a header whenever the corner kick taker winning the ball, I think he was going to go in for a header. But Partey should know better. I think Partey kind of lost track of his man and thought, hey, I want to try to get him into a headlock. And yeah, the ref saw it and awarded apparently to PSV. But, this might sound kind of strange, but I'd rather have them score. I wouldn't want to have them score, but giving away a penalty like that is kind of silliness. I think it was unnecessary. But for the most part, I think we held them in check from trying to score. I think there was some couple plays where they hit the crossbar and they had those shots on goal, but I think whenever your goalkeeper playing really well and then your defense has been perfect all year, but to come out without a goal like that it's kind of disappointing. But they were attacking for the most part in this first half, so maybe it was due. But that being said, I think we kind of had the game in control by that point.
Yeah, for sure. Gary, it's not really what you want to do in the latter stages of this competition either, though, right? Giving a
No,
penalty away like that, sloppy.
Nope. And like I said, we we give away opportunities, and we did that one time. Yeah, I don't know, Partey, what he's thinking. I mean, Rare may be able to come up and clear that thing. The ball is going to be even. You know what I mean? It's on a free kick, right? So I don't know. I think he needed to be a little bit smarter there. But we've seen Partey do little silly things throughout games, so that's another one of those things you chalk up as that's just Partey being Partey.
I think Jorginho will also have to be on his way this summer with Partey as well.
It's criminal that Arteta took like 3 months before he ever played him this year.
Who's that?
Jorginho.
Yeah. Well, it's tough when you have Mourinho and you got Partey and you got Rice.
Yeah, but Mourinho wasn't playing much then.
Jorginho doesn't play a 6. He's too slow to play a 6.
Don't have to be fast.
I mean, Jorginho's better than him at a 6. And
Yeah.
Jorginho's not fast. So
He's a different kind of midfielder, that's for sure.
he's not a defensive midfielder, is he? I don't think Moreno's a
He's
defensive
more
midfielder.
of a keep the ball moving in midfield type of player. He can do a little bit of everything, but he's not the best in the team at being number 6 for sure.
He's what you would call a central midfielder.
Yeah, taking over, right? Retroholic gamers in the house. I hear voices in my head. They come to me. They understand we're winning the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
It'll take a few glamour ties. First, we have to have a glamour tie against Real Madrid, possibly, most likely. And I don't think it's foregone conclusion that Liverpool beat Aston Villa either in that other quarterfinal.
I don't think we can just take games off. I understand doing some sort of rotation, but we need to be trying to win every game we play. I don't think this team can withstand like 0-0, 1-0 losses, and then we're going to turn it on for the Champions League.
Yeah.
I don't think we can do that.
What have we got?
We just did that, Gary.
If we go all the way to the final,
we can do that for the rest of the season, Tony.
We have maybe a maximum of 18.
We're not
playing PSV in April, okay? So no, it's not the same thing. If you think PSV is Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid, then I think you need to get your eyes checked.
Yeah, but you said we couldn't.
Or at least clean your glasses.
You're talking about a PSV turnaround like it's a Real Madrid or Atletico. We're not going to play.
Yeah, but you just said the whole year we can't play that way. We're not playing that way.
It's not the same game. We're not beating any team 6-1 the way we're playing right now, 7-1, and not a Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid. Okay.
And I agree, Red. I agree with Gary. Red John, that we can't just bin off the Premier League. I still want to be competitive in the Premier League, and so. We go to Manchester United, I won 3 points there. We go to Anfield, I won 3 points there. Everywhere we play, I won 3 points. Tony?
As I say, to be interested is Madrid, since they want a certain center back. And
What?
What does that have to do with when we play them?
Because he can be enticed and his mind can be elsewhere, and he can give away a Pintily like he likes doing a couple of times a season.
Do you think Arsenal will just give him away next season after he has a bad game against Real Madrid? That's what you think is going to happen?
No, Real Madrid want to pay money for him.
Well, they're not going to want to pay that much.
It's Real Madrid.
They don't always pay. They wait.
They wait for the free. They're waiting for Trent right now. They waited for Mbappe as well. Mbappe had to go to Saudi for what, a season or two? Right?
No, I don't think he left. He went back to PSG
Maybe.
because they paid him money, but
Yeah.
it was a short contract, a 1-1 or
Mourinho.
something like that. So
Retroholic says Mourinho's not fit to lace Partey, Odegaard, Jorginho, or Rice's boots. Playing him as striker is the best he's getting. I don't want to see him in midfield again.
He,
And listen, this is first season as well, so maybe we
he's
can
been
see more
piss
from
poor
him
in the
next season.
midfield. He's been piss poor in the midfield. Calafiori's been piss poor as a left fullback. But
I think Tony, there's something to be said that we haven't really hit the heights this season. We haven't played very well. Is that because of the way Arteta set the team up to play, the tactics? It could well be, but we haven't won more than 3 games in the Premier League in a row.
I know you were asked that. Then what, we have two draws after that. Just a few
What?
weeks ago. I said you just said that like 2 weeks ago, and we had like 2 draws, or 3 weeks ago we had 2 draws, and
Yeah,
we
I'm talking about
didn't give extra.
we. If you can't put Liverpool under pressure if you don't win more than 3 games in a row. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And we weren't able to do that. We were close to Liverpool when we played West Ham. We had a chance to close the gap to 5 points with the same games being played, and so yeah, we just lost it there.
We can't go on a run like we did last year. It's impossible with this team and the way it's been set up.
Yeah, well, I think you're right about that. At this point, it's been borne out.
Because how many games did we go undefeated and won there run in last year? Still from a second.
Well, the thing is, too, we had draws that to teams that we should have beaten, and unfortunately, it's kind of cost us. And we lost to Bournemouth, which, to be fair, they had a good team, but we were man down, and it seems like we could never get anything going. I mean, drew against City at the very end, they scored, so the win games that we should have won, that we lost or drew at the last minutes or didn't have enough.
This is last season, Tony, and 1, 2, 3, 4 wins in a row in the first half of the season, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We went 8 wins in a row, and then draw at the Etihad.
Well, one short of 9.
And then we went 2 wins. We lost to Aston Villa, and then we finished with 6 wins for the season. So, this is the type of, the amount of W's there is the type of thing that can get you to 89 points at the end of the season. And it wasn't enough last season. But 89 points, I think, would have been enough this season, in my opinion. Why do we have a 22-year-old striker on the bench who never plays? Yeah, just let me know when you need to go, Gary. It's all good.
All right, I want to say bye to you guys. Ray, thanks for having me on.
Cheers, Gary.
Tony,
thank you.
Alonzo.
Nice arguing with you again, Gary.
Everybody in the chat, thanks for joining us. See you guys on the next one.
Take care, Gary. Thank you.
Hey, Gary. Bye.
Stan, I agree, but ironically, I also don't like Rice. He's a 40 million player who we got sold for 110 million overrated all the way to the bank. Barella and Tonali would have been much better.
I'm not sure if that's true or not yet, but we
Correct.
damn sure, we should figure it out by the end of the season.
So
But you definitely need to figure it out before the start of next season. Is he a 6 or is he an 8?
there you go.
I personally think he's better attacking.
You
I
think he's
like him
better
to-
attacking?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go my way. I think we're gonna. I think people will agree. I think people will agree he's £100 million player when you play
How
him at
many?
when you play him at 6, Tony. He's worth 100 million. He will be worth 100 million then.
How many goals did he score for us last year, right?
Declan Rice maybe 7 or 8
Yeah, 7.
across 2
Not-
seasons, right? But for me, Rice, we will see Rice to the best effect as a number 6, and he would probably reduce the amount of goals we concede as well. You know, so we have allowed Arteta has allowed Rice to play in that left 8 because we have a Thomas Partey. And
that plays us right back.
I don't know how that affects us if we get Zubimendi to come in as well in the summer, you know. But definitely Retroholic, the price, the English market, 110, 105 million, whatever it was, it's a lot of money. That's for sure.
It's overinflated.
Makes 0 sense for that. It's over what? Overflated, exactly. Overinflated. Rice is 100% worth the price we paid for him, considering Rodri is a £150 million player. It's just the price are getting out of hand, and Isak is 150, 160 million.
Right, when you go to a grocery store, or you go buy lumber or whatever. Guess what? Everything's 25% more than it was 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Because of inflation.
yeah. That's what's,
What gets me about this, Ray, I thought these clubs would learn their lesson. One thing would get through COVID, you want to have these huge agent fees. Thus, you want to have these huge transfer fees. And they just keep fucking going higher and higher with fees.
But anyway, that's what we did last season in terms of the amount of wins that we were able to string together. And on 4 occasions, we strung more than 3 wins together on 3 or 4 occasions here. So
And we were what were we undefeated like 14 games in that run in or something?
we won
Pretty
16.
high.
Out of the last 18, we won 16 of them and drew 1. So
Yeah.
and we dropped 5 points out of the last 18 games. So, which anyone other than Man City last season, the Man City from last season, anyone else that we were up against, we would have overcame them. We definitely, if we did this to Liverpool this season, we would beat them by 8 or 9 points.
That's because 4th through 12th, there's not much in between those teams. They're all lackluster.
Yep.
And what's bad, we're coming up to a fixture that it doesn't ever matter where you are in the table because the other side can win.
You know, a lot of people will say the North London Derby is more important, but for me, this rivalry with Manchester United that we used to have under Arsene Wenger, you know, and I still want Manchester United to be under the thumb and having the difficulties that they've had for the last 10 or 15 years. Never forget what Alex Ferguson did to everyone else, you know. Never forget that, and don't ever feel sorry for Manchester United.
Man United's why I'm an Arsenal fan, because I had this high school teacher, and he would always talk about Man United, how they had won this many, mostly because it was in Is it Newsweek? Yeah, it was Newsweek articles and stuff because this was just one of the current events class is what this particular class was, but he'd mentioned it and other thing, and I'm like, man, Arsenal play nice, attractive football. They got young players, ball moves around nicely. I'll support these guys,
Yeah.
and now I regret my decision.
Red John said, anyone know the phone number of that chef that gave Tottenham the food poisoning? Lasagna Gate, wasn't it? Lasagna. We might need his services against Real Madrid at the Emirates. And we might need him to go to Madrid as well to do some home cooking and serve it up to them as well. But yeah, listen, that's why the Champions League is we fought. You fight in the league to get entry into the Champions League, so you can have these kind of games.
But Ray, you fight to get to this point. You should fight to win the fucking thing instead of get extra money for it because you have 8 group games, then the next games, and I still so. Do you want to try to answer my question I asked probably 3 years ago for the first time?
Zinchenko.
No, my question I asked 3.5 years ago was Arsenal Kroenke spending the money because they believed in Arteta, or were they spending it to get into a Champions League? Based on the summer and winter, you would want to say Champions League.
It looks like the Champions League in terms of we just got finished talking about Declan Rice, right? So the club spends 105 million to bring in, the transfer of the summer last year. What do we do after that? The next summer we just do a little bit of depth with Marino and Calafiori, and we do nothing. We do nothing in January.
And they're not better than the two teenagers that they sometimes take
That
the
they're
spot
playing.
from.
Yeah. So the club didn't do anything. I don't know if it was you or Gary said it, but they said it very eloquently that the players must have been so disappointed as well that the club didn't go in and double down. Because at that situation, we had a chance to chase Liverpool down and put some pressure on them. Right about this time of the year, we could have been putting pressure on Liverpool right now and into April and into May if we'd have just gotten the things we needed to get done last summer or in January. And
that being the minimum of 1 to 2 strikers and 1 to 2 wingers.
I mean,
but because
you know what,
if you had somebody to put in there as Saka, we would have ran away with the league.
Yeah. You know what, Tony? The players look around in the dressing room in August and July, and they say to themselves, yeah, we have the players here. We just got a striker in. We have that player who's going to score 20 goals for us. I feel great about going into this season and winning something. Or you're like, we really needed a striker, and we didn't buy a striker. What's the gaffer thinking? You know what I mean?
And like I said, you need to have players that cost in the 60. I'll even go up to Declan. If you have players 60 to 100 million pounds, and you can move those players to the bench if they're not doing good enough, because you have a 40 to 80 million dollar backup that's better, or just somebody in the academy that's really good.
Yeah.
You have to have those decisions, and we never have those because we don't have enough depth to be able to do that.
Yeah. And shout out to the job that Per Mertesacker has been doing in the academy as well.
So why can't we hang on to Jack?
Jack Wilshere.
Yeah, because he was supposedly doing good with a lot of these guys.
He wanted to take an opportunity to do some coaching, right? Is he still at Norwich?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Probably. I haven't heard
He is.
anything.
He is.
He is
Norwich.
Norwich, and they're doing it. They're doing a good. He's doing a good job with them. The Stan said, "I used to hate Man United, but now I pity them." Stan, never, ever fall into this trap of pitying Manchester United. Do not do it. Now I hate all things Liverpool. The team, the manager, the fans. I hate them all. And look, it's okay because we're developing this rivalry with Liverpool. It hurts me so much this season. It hurts me so much this season that we've not been able to take the fight to Liverpool. My football club did not back us in January to go and get a player that could compete and
Which
keep us
football
close
club?
to the Liverpool.
LFC or AFC? Right.
Huh?
So which team? LFC or AFC?
LFC. LFC. I Arnie Slot was charged, and we heard what he said to Michael Oliver. Michael Oliver is no bastion of honesty or decency at all. But Arnie Slot was feeling the pressure of Arsenal in that Everton game. And Arnie Slot unloaded on the referee that in a similar fashion that if Mikel Arteta had done that, nobody's talking about it right now, what Arnie Slot said to Michael Oliver. But you better believe it, if Mikel Arteta did, it would be all over the pages. It would be everybody would be talking about it. And that's just the difference between the profile of Arsenal and Liverpool. You know, we're massive. We're gargantuan. Stan has no ambition for Arsenal's hope. Hope he sells the club.
Sean Connery.
So, yeah, as Stan said, everything about the team. You know, the problem is we hate all things Liverpool now because they're getting the rub of the green. They're actually pretty good this season. They're being managed pretty well by Arnie Slot, but they're also getting unbelievable luck in their games as well, and we can see it. So
But
some of the fans, we know the Liverpool fans that we talk to on this channel, they're pretty decent, but there are some obnoxious Liverpool fans. You could say the same about there's certain section of Arsenal fans as well that are unbearable too.
But don't you have to give a hand to Klopp for what he did too? Because he left them in great hands.
Look, Jurgen Klopp,
he did a hell of a job last year. Then he's like,
he
I'm
did a
more
hell of
out.
a job. He did a hell of a job, Jurgen Klopp. But in some respects, Arnie Slot is getting applauded for that. But also, they're saying, "Well, why didn't Jurgen Klopp do this with that team?" You know what I mean?
Because they had a shitload of injuries, didn't they?
Anyway, Stan says Uncle Mikel has better hair than Arnie Slot, and that will never be contested.
Lego man.
You know, if you're losing it on top, just shave it all off, you know, and some people could find that appealing as well, you know.
My head's too big to shave it because I would look weird bald.
You would look like a boiled egg if you shaved all the hair off. Look like Humpty Dumpty.
But Humpty Dumpty, but I'm much darker. or a red egg, maybe. One of the non-white, a real chicken egg, brown or red, not white.
Yeah. So what were we talking about? Yeah, Liverpool. Listen, Stan, now you pity Manchester United, but please don't fall into that pitfall of
So, so,
letting go of that hate for Man United, because they will revive themselves and come back.
going back to United for a second,
Yeah.
has there been push for them to sell the other 2/3 of their club so they don't have it anymore?
2/3 of what?
The 2/3 that they own.
To
The
who?
other to the third that the investment firm or whoever bought them out. The third that was in charge of football operations or whatever they said at United.
I don't know. Any else? Is that what you mean?
Whoever fucking bought a third of a team, right? This isn't a trick
Is it
question.
Jim Ratcliffe, Alonso?
I think so.
It's a
But I don't really,
it's a
I
group.
don't pay
Any else?
attention to United,
We're not
so,
Manchester United fans over here, Tony.
No, but I was just you still watch and listen to football. So.
Yeah.
That's why I asked my question.
Listen, I'm enjoying it right now. The likes of Manchester United, they're in 14th place. Arsenal have an opportunity to go there and beat them and push them down even further into the table. Tottenham, 13th place.
You do remember what happened? I'll call it similar circumstances because it's just weird how bad the middle of the Premier League is. But when Leicester won 9 years ago, Liverpool and Chelsea finished 8th and 10th. Next year, finished 1st and 2nd. Because you don't have because you didn't have European football.
Yeah.
And it's weird. This year. It's pretty much impossible for City not to be in the Champions League because they're the finished 4th or 5th since we have 5 Champions League spots.
Well, yeah, it will be 5 now, right?
Yep.
So is Man City going to make it into the top 5?
I don't see them dropping far enough to not be in the top 5.
Yeah. Will Chelsea be in the top 5?
That will be close.
So you got Chelsea and
They'll be right at
5th.
that 5 or 6.
Chelsea in 5th. Newcastle are in 6th.
It's gonna be weird if we have 6 spots if
Yeah.
Villa wins.
Well, they're all close from 3rd all the way to 10th. So anything can happen. Maybe
What is
How many points?
What is there? 5, 6 points?
Fucking hell, man.
I'm
Even
asking.
Brentford can get in. Even Brentford can probably sneak in there as well because they're 4 points away from Aston Villa. So I mentioned this to someone that we know that this is the closest I ever seen from 3rd to 10th, 11th in a very, very long time. So this to me is very good for the Premier League and its future as far as from 3rd to 11th. It has never been this close in a very long time at this point of the year. So there's a lot to play for. There's a lot to play for at the end. Up until today.
Yeah.
Until the end.
The race.
Mid of May.
Well, how many points does 4th have right now, Alonso?
47. And 11th place Brentford had 38.
So you're gonna be at a point that probably your 4th and 5th place teams don't have 70 points, or they'll be in the mid 60s, which would be that never happens thing. I think the Premier League isn't as good because, like I said, if this was a normal year, Arsenal would be worried about not finishing second or third.
Well,
And so, but because the way it is, they're not worried. Before we drew the other day, we had like a 89% chance of staying at second.
and I get your percentage, Tony, but the season's not over yet, and the schedule I think favors Arsenal out of those teams. So, also, what makes you think this year's not any other normal year?
Because you usually have your top four all above 70 points.
Well, right, that
Don't
means,
I don't think that's happened this year.
but that's good for the league, right? I mean, don't you want a different top four every year, or at least the bottom? There's always gonna be your top two that are far and away the better teams in the league. Then you have your 3 and 4
Well,
team that always interchange, at least for the most part, because
I,
there,
I,
there is a point in time where Arsenal were always fourth place in the high 60s, lower 70s, right? So there's always that gap between them and the first place champions, which is always Chelsea or Manchester United.
yeah, but the 1 year Wenger does not make the top four. Arsenal had 75 points, which
Which
every
is
other
good.
year, which would have meant every other year that would have meant Arsenal
That third.
Qualified.
finish in the top four.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but Ray, do you think it says good things or bad things for the league the way the third to 10th are? I think it's kind of bad because nobody's that good.
Do I think it's what?
Good or bad that third to 10th are,
Oh, there's a lot more equality.
yeah. Is that
Yeah,
good or bad for the league?
this is gonna sound strange. I do actually think there's a lot more competition in the Premier League now.
But is it good or bad for it though?
I think it's a good thing, but it's not reflected in the table. And I think principally Arsenal's problems have dictated against us. You know what I mean? Our injury problems have
But
mitigated against us.
but
Liverpool have
but, but
had
it,
a decent amount of luck. Liverpool have had to get into this position that they're in right now.
if you allocated that money that we spent to a winger and a striker, it would have been possible for us to just run away with the league. If you had a replacement to put in there for Saka, we would have won the league. Correct? Correct?
Yeah, a player in his absence that you could play. I think that's called a replacement, but some people didn't like the word replacement for Saka.
Or if you had a striker to put in there instead of your 20-year-8 journeyman midfielder.
Yeah.
It just to me it just I don't think the Premier League's as good. Even though you have equality, but you also have shit shows that are City, or not City, but Man United and Spurs. I mean, there's got to be, like I said, I would assume somebody wants control wrestled out of the hands there, Man United, because no way you should be this bad.
No.
Same with Spurs. I mean,
But
we were talking about a Chelsea team that was such a shit show because the British government picked who their next owner could be and
yeah,
picked the worst owner they could, wanting free agency, wanting to sign 28 attacking players.
yeah,
I mean, they had 50 some players vying.
Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Sorry about that, Tony.
Sure, you did, right?
I meant to put the stop cam on my own one. I can hear you. Go ahead. I hit the trap door like Austin Powers, Dr. Evil.
Bad, Ray. Bad, Ray.
I can
But-
mute you though if you want.
But I. Fuck you, Ray.
Go ahead. I
But-
won't keep doing that.
But
promise.
I just don't think it's a strong. I mean, you have Villa that really should be vying for the top 4 or 5, but they're down in the table because they're put all their eggs in the Champions League basket.
Oh yeah, they really did, didn't they?
Well, thing is, if you look at the table, they can still get top 4.
Yeah, but they don't have to get top 4; they have to get top 5.
They're a long way away though, Alonso. What, 5 or 6 points off?
What are they off fifth place, right, Alonso?
Yeah.
4 points.
6,
4
4.
points.
4 points off. Yeah, listen, you don't have to be the best team in the world to make top 5 now anymore. You know?
Yeah, it just. I don't like this coefficient bullshit. And who would have guessed last year that it was
Yeah.
in Germany and Italy? Because I don't remember any of our Italian clubs
Well-
doing that good.
This is what we wanted, Tony. We wanted this run in the Champions League. We talked about this competition for a few years. Here we are now.
Yeah, but
The only problem is we don't have our players.
But didn't we want the Premier League first?
Well, yeah. Well, Liverpool won the Champions League before they won the Premier League.
Yeah, but they weren't facing a league that is as bad as the league is this year.
Look, there is probably very little point in talking about winning the Champions League when we're going to face Real Madrid in the quarterfinals.
Ray, I know you can recite this. How many points did Liverpool have when they won?
When they won?
Yep.
All right, a lot of points. Right?
Yep.
I don't remember how many points, but they...
It went into triple digits, I believe.
No, I don't think it went triple digits.
Good. I thought they both were.
No. They won a lot of games. It's true. As Stan said, listen, the job that Mikel Arteta has done this season has been pretty good. I will caveat that by saying he's made some glaring mistakes that we could have been better from. But Stan said, getting to the quarterfinals of the Champions League with no striker and our best player missing is no mean feat. 100%. And when that best player is your talisman who supports or scores or provides probably 1/3 of your attacking output, it's for even more and more encouraging, more glowing.
But that's why you plan ahead, and that's Arteta favors players.
Tony, you couldn't plan ahead for these 3 injuries.
Right.
You couldn't plan ahead for these 3 injuries, combined 3 injuries.
Right. How many players does Arteta? You can either answer trust will play, how many deep does he go? He doesn't go over 13. So that doesn't give you a replacement.
Yeah.
He doesn't trust the players. That's why we didn't have Winery playing when he shows he could. Skelly. Neither of those guys first rolling into a starting game. They both showed they had the ability. So that tells
Yeah.
me they could have been played last year.
Yeah.
But he's petty.
Well, the age.
There's a reason why all these academy players are flocking away from Arsenal.
I will reiterate again. They were a year younger. They're already young right now in the team. You have to start in the team at some point. Uh, but it's because they're a year younger that was precluded from them last year.
Yeah, but right. In the cups that we keep losing, Arteta will start with 5 starters. By the end of the game, we will have all 10 or have played all 10 of our starting Premier League 11. And actually, it was a Premier League 11 because guess what? The goalie played all the fucking cup games.
The goalie, what?
The goalie played all their cup games except for one.
Yeah, this season, right?
Yeah, I think Ray has only been off one game.
Yeah, and I think that was the Girona away from home. That's the other thing. Got to put some credit on Arsenal. I think we won our last 5 games in the Champions League now, even though we're having these issues. Tiger Nunes said, "Why has England been given 5 teams for the Champions League now?"
Coefficients.
The coefficient Italian teams are dropping out, have been dropping out of the competition. So the coefficient means more British teams in the draw, in the latter stages. So
This year it's the British and the Spanish. Last year it was the Italians and the Germans.
yeah,
Because you had a terrible Byron because they broke their wage structure because they wanted to buy a certain Liverpool player.
okay.
They wanted to give him over 400. I think it's 450 grand a week.
So I think that they are still going to do that. I think. Anyway,
that's an insane amount of money.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should wrap it up here soon, Tony.
For a 30 what?
32-year-old, maybe 34 with Mo Salah.
34 by now.
Yeah.
That was a huge mistake by them.
Absolutely. The oversight of letting all of them go and run their contracts down to be in this situation.
I mean, that's the worst they've been since what, like the 60s or something? It was been 60 years since they've been that bad.
Yeah. All right, Tony. Any final thoughts before we get out of here? On Sunday, the clocks will have gone forward over here on this side of the pond.
Thank you, fucking George Bush.
No, hey, it is what it is. We just follow the rules around here.
I don't know why he came up with we need to be 3 weeks different than what other people do.
3 weeks
later. 3 weeks later in the winter and the fall and 3 weeks.
Oh, okay. I see how that works. As a I guess as a caveat to that, or because of that, the Sunday show will be local time, probably 3 p.m., but it will still be 7 p.m. in Britain. Just so everybody knows that. In England, it'll be the local time, but over here in the States, where instead of a 5-hour difference to England and London, we will be having a 4-hour time difference. So that'll be a time change because the game will end maybe about 2:30 on the Sunday, and we'll go live 20-30 minutes after that. So we will have the full download of the game at Old Trafford, where the stadium is infested by vermin and mice.
Huh.
And I'm not even talking about the manager, the player, or Alec Ferguson at all,
or the fans.
or the fans. No, it's just really vermin and mice, and hopefully it rains up there so we can see the waterfalls of northern
Yeah,
England
But
as well.
you had a waterfall, then you had like fucking 3 feet of water on the pitch.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like you don't have a gutters working. The gutters are broken. Part of a roof's collapsed in. It's just
Tiger
flat.
Gunner. Hey, I'm looking at maybe late April. You know what I mean? So build something around Good Friday for my holiday here and get over. So maybe we can do something then late April.
Hide me in your luggage, Rick.
Hide you in your luggage. I could do that. You're probably a mini me. You're the size of a mini me right now, aren't you?
I'm still pretty stocky guy.
Yeah. Alonzo, what have you got to close out here?
You either give me a
I
chance.
just hope they win the game Sunday. I hope that they be bad, so that we can have so we can have a sense of where the team is at and where their weaknesses and their strengths are, and going to United and playing in their dreams. It has always caused us issues in the past where we can be the most talented team, but the effort has gone missing. And I
Without
hope we smash them in,
yeah,
and just go from just basically going from our performance on Tuesday, that we are capable of scoring good goals and good
3 or
team
4
goals
goals.
and
Yeah,
then blow them out.
definitely. And without Bruno Fernandes, they're nothing. You know what I mean? This Manchester United team is nothing without Bruno Fernandes. He's the only creative outlet that they have, and they look to him to lead any and all times. Tony is
My strategy would be get as many corner kicks as you can because you have a 5'5" fucking center back that they have.
yeah, and I think it was Red John that said we miss Ben White, we miss Benny Blanco at the set pieces as well. The kind of havoc that he was creating from
Yeah,
the corner routines.
because he could take the corners, and he also is good in the air, unlike Saliba, which is one of the worst in the league in aerials.
Yeah,
Which is surprising, him being 6'4".
um,
Gabriel, I think Gabriel is at the top or right near the top.
yeah,
He's Gabriel.
definitely. That's Manchester United Arsenal. There's a couple of WGAFs games.
Yay! My favorite thing.
WGAF. So, you want to pick out a couple there, Tony?
Damn it! I don't have my
You
phone.
don't have it
with
in
me.
front of you?
Give me a second. Let me go split screen here.
Well, would you call that Nottingham Forest versus City one of those games, Tony?
Probably so. I mean,
Third versus fourth. That should be a good game, Alonso.
Funny because I had that as my I really do care match of the week.
I really do care.
Oh
What
yeah,
you
and
mean.
also I also have Crystal. Oh, Wolves and Everton are deeply care about
Deeply,
match of the week.
deeply care about that one. We want Wolves to get a jump over Everton, right? Don't we?
Mhm.
That was stupid. They wouldn't give me half screen. They wouldn't give me the
Tiger
mellow.
and Gunner's got tickets for the Crystal Palace game on the 26th. Do you have a ticket for me, Tiger and Gunner? I'll be there. I'll be there if you have a ticket for me, for sure.
Okay,
Crystal Palace. It won't be at Selhurst Park though, Tony. You know.
for a city, who gives a fuck game? Liverpool, Southampton, who gives a fuck? Crystal Palace, Ipswich, who gives a fuck?
Selhurst
Hey,
Park.
Brighton, Fulham, who gives a fuck? Bradford, Aston Villa, who gives a fuck? Wolves, Everton, who gives a
I do
fuck?
care about
Every Saturday game is a who gives a fuck game,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, perfect, Tony,
Let-
because
let-
every single
Let's
game to me is I really do care about. So
I really
well
do
played,
care
Tony.
about this game.
Spurs, Bournemouth, who gives a
Oh,
fuck?
we don't care about that game either.
No,
Chelsea, Leicester, we don't care about that one either.
no.
Oh, fine. So we see I had something.
There's one
Tottenham and
game
Bournemouth,
here.
we don't care.
Manchester United versus Arsenal. We do care about that one.
Do we?
Yes.
Do we? Do
Have
do
you
we all?
forgotten? Don't call me
Do,
Dewey.
do we? Are you sure?
Remember that? Remember Dewey from Scream? Officer Dewey.
I just
No, wasn't
remember.
that from a scary movie?
A scary movie, yeah. Officer Dewey.
And West Ham versus West
Chelsea?
that West that's another one. The last game. So
Yeah, definitely,
oh,
Tiger and Gunner. Definitely look into it. I'm serious. If you do, if you can, but definitely, I'll
Ray,
try to make it happen. Huh?
I'm going with the clean sweep here. That all 10 games are who gives the fuck games of the week. Because it doesn't matter if Arsenal lose because they're still gonna be in the Champions League next year. So. Should that be given a go away, Ray?
What?
The coefficient rules should that be go away? Should a team really be given 5?
A league. So you're awarding it to the league
Yes, it's awarded to the league.
for if the league is strong. Yeah. Well, there's one question if you should be doing it. There's another question that they are doing it, and
But those German teams weren't that good.
I
Or
mean,
the
it's about
Italians.
it's about the likes of Liverpool getting to the final stages, Aston Villa getting to the final stages, Arsenal getting to the final stages.
I know what it's based off, Ray, but even before then, we were at a 99.8% chance of having the 5 because how
Yeah.
well they did in the opening. It's 99.8 before you got to the knockout. So no, you're at the knockout. So it will
Yeah,
even go up
that's
higher.
you always did like that Opta thing, didn't you? 99% chance,
I got it off the Premier League website. I don't know who they
Right?
use for their data there, but because
Um,
the article was every team between 3rd and 12th had a chance to make the champion or the top 5, and that there was a chance of 7 Premier League teams being in the Champions League next season. Because there will be 6. It's gonna be 6 that Villa wins.
yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where the other
yeah,
team came from.
yeah. Tiger and Gunner said, and top it off, right, I'll be with me Irish mate who I met in Baku,
So,
and also the missus will be there. Nice one, Tiger. Sounds like the
uh,
plans are being put in place here, Tiger.
but before I end on my reminder to a certain person that has left already, I'm trying to remember what it was I say.
You lost your train.
That's my train. My train derailed. I'll just go with
Talking
what
about the
I was.
the coefficients and the Champions League.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was.
One thing to talk about, we can talk about on Sundays. William Saliba is in line for an extension on his contract, and the sporting director news as well. We kind of touched on a little bit earlier. You know,
We still have two empty board seats.
yeah. Well, I heard you talking about this on the trip, and like the board is separate. I mean, the sporting director is more important than representation on the board.
Yeah, but we were a dick pic short of getting Overmars for sporting director.
Well, Overmars is kind of bad news now after
his dick pic.
After his
not to be confused. Whatever those two old ladies are saying in that commercial, that sounds like dick pic.
Yeah. So maybe we shouldn't talk about Mark Overmars anymore.
Yeah, but it was just a dick pic. Come on.
That's all. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's you don't think a lot worse things happen at those teams in the, especially like the 80s that you would say ridiculous. You would say horrible things to your female coworkers.
Yeah. So mapping, if I'm mapping out my weekend, right? I'm watching Nottingham Forest versus Man City, and then maybe the 10 a.m. games are not great. The 3 games are not great. Mike watched the Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park against Ipswich Town. And then obviously there's Brentford, Aston Villa. That'll be a decent game, Brentford, Aston Villa. And Wolverhampton Wanderers, Everton. I really, like Alonso, I really, really do care a lot about that. And can I just say one thing to Alonso? Really will be watching the Six Nations as well, where Ireland and France will be playing.
Really good game.
That would be a really, really good game in Dublin, in the Aviva Stadium. For the whole hill of beans. They're going to play for the whole hill of beans out there.
Well, aren't England in second right currently?
Who?
England in second.
France are second?
Or England.
England are second, are they?
I think they beat France, and they've gone off to Ireland.
Ray only cares about first place.
And Aussie Rules is coming up soon. We're going to be, Tony, we're going to be following the Richmond Tigers.
But
there's no but.
No, I was thinking of what summer tournaments they are, because if they're big summer tournaments, Fox will show those. Like if it's a World Cup for the women's year, it won't show it. Or if it's a Euros summer, they won't show Aussie Rules football. They'll be busy commentating and doing the.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It happens all the time.
Because I remember last year I could see it. I could see it on the Saturday. Saturday morning here would have been a Saturday night game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because for you it's, I think it's
straight 12 hours probably.
It's 5 a.m. for you, but for me it's 4 p.m. watching it. But yeah, if there's a big enough summer competition, they won't show it.
There's no big summer competition. The World Cup is going to be next year, Tony.
Women's.
See, look at that. Richmond play next week already. See?
So they're third, Ray. the current standings is England.
England are third,
Mhm.
France are second.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying they don't play, Ray. I'm saying it's not on American TV because Fox sends their.
And the other thing that happens next weekend is Formula One, Alonso. You should try it.
Hey, that's why I
Instead of
asked Alonso.
watching cars go around in circles, Alonso.
Turning left circles.
Yeah.
What track? What
So,
track are they at this week,
Alonso,
Alonso?
do they have a piece of rope to tie it to
They-
the gear stick? They
they
have a
had a
piece of
rope-
rope to tie the wheel to a gear stick and just hands-free drive around
just
the
had a-
circles.
They just had a road course this past Sunday in Austin.
Who is
The NASCAR had a road course race.
a road course race?
Yeah.
Is there any right turns in that?
Yeah.
Left. They don't know how to go left, right? They just go off course, like you when you just get a brand new racing game when you're like driving off the course or you're turned
Tiger.
around backwards.
Tiger and Gunnar. I feel like Carlton are a good team. So maybe Richmond will be underdogs there. Let me know what you think, if that's true or not. But yeah, it's going to be Ferrari all the way next weekend as well in Australia.
One thing I was going to say earlier, Ray, you get those racing inspired seats for the managers and stuff for the Premier League. And I know they have them at Old Trafford and Arsenal. I can just see him falling off at Old Trafford. Arteta goes to take a seat, and he just falls down.
We might see a picture or two of Alec Ferguson as well, and Ruben Amorim being very unhappy. Now, a couple of other things, Tony.
Is that karma though that they stop paying Fergie, and now they're in the doldrums?
Yeah, exactly. Tiger, I did get to see a little bit of the golf last weekend where, what's his name, Rory McIlroy? Well, I saw the one in Florida, not in Thailand. There was
Where
one
Sam
in Florida.
Greenwood
There
would
was
have
a
been.
competition in Florida. So,
Sam Greenwood would be telling the golfers where to go after the golf.
Sam Greenwood and Tony are going to Thailand together. Right, Tony?
Maybe.
Sam will be pushing your wheelchair.
Can you imagine the two of us there, Ray?
Around the streets of Bangkok.
Yeah.
I can't actually. It's giving me Father Ted vibes. If anyone who's ever watched Father Ted, they'll know.
I'm not sure if you would get more of a bang or
Tony,
more of a bang or remain more of a cock.
Tony, in Father Ted, you would be a really good Father Jack.
Is that what I mean? A lot of bang for your buck?
Yeah. Yes. Theo Walcott played for England against the world. Zola was captain. Yeah. Now, one final thing, Tony. Have you caught up on snooker?
I have not had the chance to catch up on snooker.
Why not?
Because I already have shoulder surgeries and I have to do some.
We need to grow
stuff.
the game in America. We need to grow the game of snooker in America.
I had to get me a roommate, Ray, so I can afford all the stuff I need to afford.
Yeah. But there's a player called Tony Drago.
We'll get there.
Like him.
We'll get there, Ray.
I sent you a video. I sent you a link. You didn't watch it?
Well, that's part of it.
I know when you do your wrestling show that you put 10 hours of work into it, right? To get 1 hour out.
20 hours of work there.
20 to 1 ratio.
Because it's anywhere from 10 to 12 watching it, anywhere to 10 to 12
Well, you need to
photos.
You need to keep your photos up longer. Don't flash through them so quickly.
I only have Russ for an hour. I don't have a backup co-host.
Who's the
Ray can
backup?
do it.
Who's the
Remember,
backup to Russ?
Alonzo.
Oh,
And Alonzo doesn't have Thursdays off unless he takes them
Alonso.
off.
Like
Well,
that's like saying.
I was off from time today coming back. Someone got me to send me a link.
See,
Did I?
Tony, the Crucible Theater, the World Championships coming up next month, Tony, in April. The Crucible.
Did you have enough time to get caught up?
In what? Snooker?
Yeah, to be ready for the Crucible.
Yes. Yes. See,
But Crucible sounds very important.
Tiger and Gunner on YouTube. I've been watching a lot of Stephen Hendry's Q-tips. Check it out. Stephen Hendry's Q-tips. He has a YouTube channel. He plays snooker. Tony. And Stephen Hendry was my favorite player back in the day.
But I still remember like when you introduced yourself to me on Twitter, one of the first things you said was, I used to play snooker.
Did I say that? Really?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I got like a 40 break was the highest I ever got. A break of around 30s or 40s. But I'd love to play again, but there's no tables here. There's no snooker tables.
So there's not enough room in a fucking American pool hall. You only get 4 tables in there when you can fit like 30 pool
Well,
tables in there.
snooker tables are 12 by 6. It's much
That's
bigger.
that's what I'm saying. At an American one, you can fit like 36 pool tables, but you're only getting like 8 snooker tables in there.
Yeah. It was 10 million
What?
holes in one. John Terry tried his luck. What does that sound like? Remember back in the day, John Terry was, didn't he have it off with someone else's wife, another teammate's wife?
Yep.
Yeah, that's John Terry for you.
Wayne Brady. Wayne Bridge.
Wayne
But-
Bridge, exactly. That's the one.
But what Holland one that gets me that these guys can do it is in the frisbee golf, because it's
Frisbee
fucking,
golf. Come on now, stop. There's only
It's
one
hard as
game of
fuck.
golf.
Nope.
It's only one game of golf. He even has Jimmy. Yeah, he had Jimmy White on the show. Stephen Hendry had been trying to get Jimmy White for a long time, and he got Jimmy White on. It's great. It's a great watch.
Do you know what the natives used to say here, Ray?
9 ball
Do you want to hear what the natives said, Ray?
pool, 9 ball pool, right? What did the natives say?
My grandma grew up in Boston, Oklahoma, which is the headquarters for the Osage Indians, and they would always say, "Silly rich white man chase white ball around all day."
Alonzo just put a note in the chat there. He's tired, so do we take pity on Alonzo right now?
I don't know. We can see if Alonzo can fall asleep during the show.
Yeah.
Since he
Just channel your inner Lorenzo. Lawrence.
I have too much time to do that.
What makes me mad on F1, Ray, is Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City had a.
He's awake for the next 6 hours, Alonzo, right?
Oh yeah, I get messages from at 5 o'clock in the morning, so you know.
That's when they're waking up. Ray replies to me at 4.
So wait, you go back at 1:30 in the morning and get right back up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Jesus.
Yes. Check it out though, Tiger. I know it sounds like you've been watching it. Tony?
But Oklahoma City has the choice of to F1, Formula 1, whatever you want to call it. Come on, Ray, it's F1.
Formula One, and there's other formulas as well, right?
E1.
A1 for like the younger, up and coming.
The
ones,
electric
right?
ones. The electric ones.
So Tony, will you be watching Formula One next weekend?
Probably not. I need to start watching it again. I used to watch it as a kid. I would actually watch all three with my dad. We would watch 6 hours of cartoon, watch wrestling or watch racing, and then we would go watch wrestling.
Lorenzo.
Then in between somewhere there, we'd go feed the ducks at the duck pond. The funniest thing ever is it used to be
Alonso.
mossy. It used to be mossy around them.
Yeah.
And I slipped in. I was probably like 4 years old.
You slipped
my
because there's
dad-
moss on the rocks?
No, it was this muddy bank. It was just
Oh, like
muddy
where the alligators were.
where the ducks were, but
Do you have
Looks like
alligators in Oklahoma?
Eastern Oklahoma we do.
Shit. Okay.
Well, we got black bears too, right? and if
Davy
you believe
Crockett.
and if you believe a lot of people in southeast Oklahoma, we also had Bigfoot.
Also had what?
Bigfoot.
No. You believe in Bigfoot?
I think there's probably ape-like creatures around that we don't know of, but I don't think it would be anything. I mean,
No,
there has to be
Formula One.
lost animals.
Um,
But what gets me now is like
Ferrari, Tiger, Ferrari.
everyone has a camera on them now.
Yeah.
And guess what? You don't see aliens. You don't see
No footage, right?
Bigfoot. You don't see, which I think they figured out. It was just a wave. What Loch Ness was.
You don't see it anymore. You're right.
Loch Ness is just a ripple in the to the bottom of the lake.
So you got Sasquatch.
Same thing. Bigfoot, Sasquatch.
Same thing.
Same thing.
So Ray, my final thought was,
Yeah.
you need more than one striker, one winger. You need at least two of each.
Then he said you need 3 wingers and 3 strikers.
Yeah, I said 4 wingers are leaving.
4 wingers at least, yeah.
To go bye-bye.
Yeah.
Sterling was such a waste of everybody's time.
Oh my God, you're right about that. Sterling was.
Can you imagine the like Arsenal secretary that drew up the draft work and printed it all off? She's like, what a fucking waste of time. I spent 3 days on that shit.
I waste
She's like, I'm
all
never
my
gonna get that time.
I wasted all my time drafting up the paperwork. He didn't do anything for us. All right, listen, Alonso, we'll get out of here, okay?
Let's land this plane before Alonso crashes out of the air. Alonso's gonna jump out of the plane and steal the money.
Okay.
You're gonna steal the money, which did happen.
Yeah. All right, guys. Alonso, thanks for joining tonight. Gary, thanks for joining tonight. Gary's moved on to his evening.
I tuckered him all out, right?
You did.
We took me all out too, Tony.
Yeah, but I didn't have to battle you for like 12 rounds.
Yeah.
I just had to keep talking.
Yeah. Tony, hopefully we'll catch up on Sunday after the Manchester United game. And listen, I enjoyed this one tonight. We probably got 3 hours, Tony, Alonso. So there you go.
Maybe. I can't remember what time you started. You're a little late.
Yeah, about this time, 3 hours exactly. All right. Take care, everybody. Let's get that win at Old Trafford, okay? Let's
Let's
get the
get
vermin.
Alonso safely to bed.
Let's get the vermin out of this stadium. Good night, everybody.
See
Thanks
ya.
for watching. Slap a like.